place when you're unprepared. So you'll need to stock up on the strongest items Runeterra has to offer. Here's what you should keep in mind when perusing the shopkeeper's wares. If you're heading to the jungle, you'll need to buy the Hunter's Machete and some health potions to survive your first clear. Most other champions do well with some Boots of Speed and health potions to get right into the action. Just remember that you only need one boot item for your build. I know you want to go fast, but you don't get extra movement speed after your first set. So pick the style of boot that works best for you and stick with it.
Okay. When
buying items, start with what your champion wants to do most. Dealing tons of attack damage, go for Trinity Force or Infinity Edge. Casting powerful magical abilities, Deathfire Grasp and Rod of Ages have you covered. Trying to become an unkillable tank? Sunfire Cape has the health you're looking for. And if you're a jungler, you should probably upgrade your Hunter's Machete into Spirit Stone or a Madrid's item. If you're a support, your budget's going to be pretty tight, so it's important to make the most of each purchase. Items like Heart of Gold and Philosopher's Stone give you extra gold generation, which can make up for all that farm you definitely aren't taking. You'll also want to get items like Sightstone that give you a pool of wards to use instead of having to buy each one individually. Once you've finished building your first item, start thinking about what the enemy team does well and what you need to counter it. For example, Banshee's Veil gives you a spell shield that fully blocks the next enemy ability, making it a perfect answer to champions like Annie who thrive on burst damage. Once you've finished your responsible shopping, feel free to check out some more creative purchases. Niche items like Banner of Command could catch your opponents off guard and shift the game in your favor. You never know until you try. So get out there, experiment, and find the perfect build for your champion and playstyle.
A clever fox is never caught.
恭喜 Caps入选了名人堂。
Chúc mừng Cap đã được vào Hall of Flame.
Chúc mừng Cap đã vào Hall of Fame của Liên minh huyền thoại.
이번에 G2 캡스 선수가 명예전당에 헌정됐다는 소식을 들었는데 되게 많이 축하드리고요. 어떻게 보면 G2의 심장이라고 생각을 하는데 꾸준히 좋은 모습을 보여주는 게 정말 대단하고 생각하고 멋있다고 생각하는 것 같습니다. 명예전당 정말 축하드립니다.
キャップス選手が他のプレイヤーと違う分言うと本番の大舞台でものすごく強いっていうのがあるんじゃないかなと思いますね。やっぱり彼ほどの逆境に強いプレイヤーっていうのはなかなかいないんじゃないかなと思います。キャップス選手、改めてオールオーバーレジェンドおめでとうございます。
我最欣赏 Caps 的点就是永不放弃吧，然后每一年都在为自己的未来打拼。
因为我之前在欧洲也打过一段时间吧，然后那时候也跟他做过对手，所以我觉得他很努力，然後我覺得他這名人堂記得沒毛病。好，
Mình xin chúc mừng Cap đã ghi danh vào đại sảnh huyền thoại.
恭喜 Caps 入选名人堂。
캡스 선수 명예전당에 입성하신 것을 정말 축하드립니다.
恭喜 Caps 入选英雄联盟名人堂。
我认为新生代选手，尤其是 LEC 赛区的，应该都会算是把它当成中路的标榜，有点像是 Faker 的感觉啦。恭喜 Caps 入选名人堂，又达成了一个里程碑。
Mình xin chúc mừng Cap đã bước vào đại sảnh danh vọng nhé.
The international narrative of League of Legends is that Western regions couldn't compete unless they brought something special.
Denmark meet Caps!
Caps is inarguably the greatest Western player of all time. Any record you can think of for Europe, Caps has it.
엄청난 선수라고 생각합니다.
He was dodging literally every spell.
여기로 던지면 저쪽으로 가요. 어우, 화가 나는 거예요, 그냥.
Even back then, Caps saw the game in a different way.
I could tell Perks was feeling fear for the first time having to play Caps.
Oh, he just solo killed Perks!
Very bad memories.
We have a new superstar. This is the European hope now.
You're a player and you look across the stage and they're just laughing. And you're sweating for your life.
There are players at home right now. They're seeing those European players and they're believing that they can do it too.
We can do this. We can go even further.
Caps 就像是旗帜，
For players like Faker, Uzi, and Caps, you never really take into account years of finding ways to reinvent yourself to get back to the top.
Where were you when the West rose up?
Split 3 introduces the most impactful format change of the season, the Swiss stage, where seeding and championship points can make or break a team's year. Top 4 teams from Split 2 playoffs face the bottom 4 in the opening round. After that, teams are paired against others with the same win-loss record. Teams continue playing until they reach 3 wins and qualify for playoffs, or 3 losses and they are eliminated. Following the Swiss, BO5 seeding matches determine final placements. The top seed earns the right to choose their playoff opponent between the 3rd and 4th place teams. In the playoffs, 4 teams battle through a double elimination bracket for 2 spots at Worlds and the right to be called the 2026 LCP champion. Additionally, the team with the highest championship points secures a Worlds berth, rewarding year-long excellence. The LCP promotion series returns in 2026, with 2 guest teams required to defend their place against champions from the region's domestic leagues. But this time, championship points will be a determining factor in which guest teams have to defend their slot. The pressure is on across every level of competition. This is the League of Legends Championship Pacific. Let's show them what we're made of.
不要求什么啊，希望可以有一波完整的团战就好。
对于对面的杯体感到很有意见，
没错，
他已经打过了，
相当肮脏，
他先玩过了。
不能找这种老手来。
对于他来说，你不太应该是那个老手吗？
没有，我是人老了。
那你呢？有认老吗？
我是老人。
打新版的我应该会赢他。
红手我打漏的时候，你还在妈妈咋扣呢？
某一个老人，不管什么版本，我都会打爆你。
Out of Hongshu in the mid lane has that ult level advantage. Starts to play.
There's the ignite going down. Hongshu's flashing away, but in comes.
Nice! Wow! 他不会玩，那个卡特正常是买9瓶药的。
我不是阻止他，打爆他。
And they liked it so much. Oh, okay. So BA just died in the replay.
Yep. He had a zillion bomb on him. He got tagged up.
喂，好痛啊！完啦，好痛啊！
I had actually forgotten this, but I noticed it during this play. Gragas E is not a star in this version. It's a swat.
完啦，好恶心啊！他这个。
やっぱりアニメとか漫画だと古代兵器って大体すごく強いですから、今日は僕が皆さんに古代兵器をお見せします。
In trouble. Look at the damage of the old Fiddlesticks ult. Emmy trying to get under tower, doesn't have access to Soraka ult. Few seconds off it, does manage to get a W down. He's gonna live, he's gonna clean them up. I think he gets both here as he'll just walk forward, ult himself. The drain isn't good enough. BA, there's nothing to do.
ไม่เดี๋ยวไปไหนพามเนอะว้าวlên cái này nè nice à ok nice
này mấy ông già chơi game lần này tôi sẽ đá gãy của mấy ông.
Sniffs it out, will chase him down on the other side of the fight. Emmy gets impaled. They need to get him quickly before he can get any more heals off. They manage it.
Nice.
5招怎么说？哎，里面大的机，里面大的。但好痛哦，那也太痛了吧！哦，
哇 ！UZI。OK， go mid。
怎么说？翻的人感觉。
Too long as Ejo, see the damage is coming in, just moving forward, shredding through North Eddie there as well, definitely trying to proc that W, does well, but gets one shot by Maple on the other side. Hongshu can't find too much more, it's 2 for 2 at the moment.
我猜啦，我们会输。
稍微预测一下会输几个头
？5到10个吧，我算7个好了。
10個。啱，得，我講跟住到，我好啲換親佢。 哇！哇！哦，我啦。nice！ GG！
看来当年真的是酒桶太 OP 了。
封塔再1年，
说到高币，说到没有给到给买不给，很好玩。
还是打中就完，还是太权威了？
まあここまで勝つというか、まあそもそもねメイプルさんがキャリーしてくれたんで、メイプルさんシェイシェイ。
你自己讲的，
又给你装到啊！这样拍好了。
Well, here we go.
Kita itu 1v1 Isai comes out on top.
They have to. Here comes the hero's entrance. They have the speed.
大家好，我是大姐郑科。
Here's an overview of how Coach Comms works. Each team may assign one coach per game, submitted with the starting roster. Coaches can be changed between games. Only a head coach, assistant coach, or analyst is eligible. Sub-players are not allowed. Use of the Coach Comms is optional. Here's how Coach Comms operates during matches. The coach is placed in an isolated room, wearing a soundproof headset to ensure competitive integrity. They may only view the 5-player POVs on stage. No live stream, spectator mode, or external devices are permitted. Each team has 3 coach comms uses per game, with 45 seconds per use. Unused users do not carry over. After all users are exhausted, the coach may leave the room. If they leave early, they cannot return. Team members not participating will have access to standard spectator mode for post-game review. Coach Comms has received positive feedback from teams and fans and adds an additional strategic layer to the game.
As CFO will wipe the floor with Team Secret Wales, they'll be our first LCP champion.
Thì tụi em sẽ tới đó và chứng minh.
Ahoy and welcome back, LCP fans, as we get ready for the final night here of this week. Carrix, it's you and me, buddy. Old school, we're kicking it back. Are you keen for this matchup?
How could I not be? The 2 best teams in the LCP going head-to-head to book a berth in the finals? Can't get better than this.
We need to stop saying the word birth. It's you and Logan every time, and it always gets me. It's lovely. But yes, you're right. CFO versus Secret Wales. We've seen this matchup just last week, and we're going to see it again as CFO need to make this finals run. But still, let's have a look at yesterday's results first. I think this is where we start, because it was a hella series, Carrix. I got the joy of being there with Logan, and Vikings coming out on top of GARM. Can you believe it?
Yeah, a huge, upset maybe is the wrong word based on form, but just in terms of the organizations, GARM, not completely, but very likely locked out of Worlds. There was some honestly heartbreaking photos of the players' reaction afterwards. This is a massive win for MBK because, yeah, this has booked them a ticket to Worlds.
Which is so big, especially for this team making their first international. But let's look at the playoffs bracket. As we can see here clearly, tonight's match, which is match 4, CFO versus Team Secret Wales. The loser here will move down to verse the Vikings, which means, hypothetically, Secret Wales have already locked in their place at Worlds. They got it very early on. If they move down, CFO move up. CFO secure their ticket. But Carrick, if CFO move down and then lose to Vikings, it's actually Garm that I believe will be moving up. But here's today's match, and let's look at it. CFO versus Team Secret Wales. Oh man, this is going to be such a series.
It really is. This is like the most dominant team of the year versus the most dominant team of right now, because Team Secret Wales have lost one series this entire year domestically, and it was to CFO, and it was 1 week ago.
Which, if we think about it, that is actually crazy, especially that series went to 5 games. CFO really took it to them, but here's that team. Let's bring out the oysters. There's Rest, Shadow, Pout, Doggo, and Kino. This whole team, Carrick, has completely stepped up in the last, I would say, 4 weeks. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. The last, 4 weeks. I think that's the correct number. This team has just found another level. They've gone up to Gear 5 and have been running through the league. They took that series over Team Secret Wales. It took them 5, but they still got there, no question. They have been electric.
I think the big thing there as well is we can put it down to not only the players themselves being exceptional on the Rift, they've got the skill, they've got the hands, they know exactly what they're doing, but you've got to give them credit to the coaching staff that have put them onto these unique picks that have really worked for them. And the number one that comes to mind is Doggo Samira. We saw a huge performance on that, and we've seen it twice now in 2 different series, and every single time it has looked so good. So we could talk about that a bit later on, but Team Secret Wales, this is reigning champions looking to take it to these feisty go-getters. Pun, Histo, D-Ray, Eddie, and BA. This team, like Carrick, we can still say this team is exceptionally good. They are not bad. They've just looked a little bit shaky.
They have looked a little bit shaky, but this is a series that I think will really be the one that they're ready to step up for. Their match against CFO last week, I don't want to take it away from CFO, but that was a match with not a lot of stakes. It was a seeding match, and I think both of the teams were okay with who they played. But to really get into the dynamic of how these two teams are going to match up, we've actually identified one matchup that we really need to drill into, and it is our AD carries, Doggo and Eddie.
Look, I have been saying for a while that I think Doggo is the best AD carry in the league. I think their skills are so good. In saying that, stats-wise here, Eddie is doing better. But, Carrick, I know you have a point on this.
Yeah, so these stats are for the entire split, of course, and Doggo had a slow start, but if we use that 4-week number, we don't have the stats to bring up, but he would be winning in every category. Doggo, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, has been absolutely lights out. He has been ridiculously good. He is, in my opinion, the better form ADC right now. He is where Team Secret Wales must find an answer.
100%, but they're going to have to find an answer here in the LCP arena, which is where we're going to head to right now as we start to see fans from all around starting to make their way in. And you know what? To always select those awesome cards that Carricks we both want. Now, if you had to pick a player that you could get as a card, who would you get?
I mean, this is a trick question, right? Because obviously it's Kiaya. Kiaya is my boy. I want that Kiaya. I don't know if you saw, there was a post going around that they've got the Vegeta version of the cards, where it's just their giant, they've made them into giant foreheads. Great.
That actually, I just want to see, like, maybe if I went for like Doggo's, for instance, just like a big CFO on top of his head, that would just be absolutely awesome. But that arena's looking fire tonight. The CFO fans always come out in droves. But let's have a look at our predictions tonight, Carrick, because we've got some interesting thoughts, and you know what? We're keeping it spicy. We've gone different talking points.
Yeah, look, I think CFO right now are in better form. I think their drafting has been better. I think they know where to assign resources better in the game. And I think Team Secret Wales are a little bit shaky. I don't know if they're going to get over the line today.
Look, and yeah, I said that before as well, but I still think Team Secret Wales is this #1 team for a reason. They might not be first seed, but they have all of those points to back up why they are the best team regardless. I think that when they went up against CFO did a really good job of sort of just throwing them too many curveballs. I think D-Ray has been trying to find his feet a little bit more, but has started to show improvements. But I think the whole roster for Secret Wales, when it comes to crunch time, this team can get it done. We have seen them do it on the international stage as well. We're looking forward to see what they can do more, but we've been saying this about CFO, right? And the talking point is that this is a team that is looking international ready.
Yeah, exactly. And look, in the end, I predicted a 3-2. I don't think there's a lot of daylight between these teams, no matter who comes out on top. They are both hitting their stride at the right time. Team Secret Wales has never, ever slowed down. They are looking towards Worlds. They had a great showing at MSI, taking out top esports, really putting this region on the map a little bit. Because I think a lot of people, we saw CFO, funnily enough, in 2025 make incredibly deep runs at international events. But when that roster kind of broke down a little bit or broke up, there was a question of, well, does the LCP have a second string? Who is going to be that new threat? I think Team Secret Wales at MSI proved that they can be, and I think at Worlds, they are ready to do it again.
Yep, 100%. But this is also the big thing that we've been saying as well, Carrix, is that we've been waiting for all the other teams to live up to that expectation, to raise the bar, you might even say. As these teams, as we are like a major region now, we need to start proving ourselves on that international stage too, and we can hype on about it till the cows absolutely come home. But what I'm trying to get at is, the teams are starting to put in that work. CFO are proving that exactly. They are the major point that I can highlight is this team has just fully flipped the script. They were looking so shaky all year long, and now they said, okay, split 3, guys, we need to just lock in. And they've done exactly that, and that's why we have such high hopes for these teams. But I guess now, Carrix, as we're waiting for the Riot Fist, and we're going to be getting a little bit of that time, is there a champion or champions you'd like to see?
I mean, I think there's a bunch. I think the biggest one I'm looking at is how the Gnar dynamic is going to be played out. Both of these top laners really like that pick. I think Rest has been fantastic on it. Pun puts less emphasis on it. So how Team Secret Wales approaches that little orange guy in the top lane is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, so true. I think my big pick that I really want to look for is I want to see Histo get on something massive like a Lee Sin. I think that's the only real champion I want him to play, even first game, if it doesn't get banned out, Carrix. I think getting him on these hyper-aggressive junglers that can make plays at the start of the game, that's where Histo loves to shine. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do, but we're just going to have to wait and see, right? We're getting so close to these games. I guess, Carrix, there's so much we could talk about. There's so many avenues that these teams want to be playing towards. You've told me your score. You've told me your prediction. What do you think, real quickly? Like, who's going to take first game?
Who's going to take first game? I'm going to go Team Secret Wales. I think they're going to be motivated. They're going to be fired up, and they will have been scrimming for this exact matchup ever since they lost last week.
Look, 100%, I think that's pretty bang on too. Secret Wales, they're going to come out the gate firing on all cylinders. I'm curious to see if they're going to ban out that Samira. I think that's one of those unique picks that's just sort of like, is it actually worth doing? But Carrix, it's time. Riot Fist inbound. It's time to see what's going to be happening as we jump over to the awesome cinematics. Let's go on through.
Hy vọng, hy vọng, kỳ vọng.
欢迎来到 LCP Arena 第4周第4天的赛程胜负的对决，深海的第3回合，由 CFO 出战 TSW， 两军交手各有千秋，但是今天将会是一个全新的 BO5， 对秘密金鱼来说压力比较小，因为他们已经确保了有世界赛的资格，但是压力来到了 CFO 这边了，他们今天如果赢得了比赛，将会直通世界赛的舞台，反之将要连战2场，压力巨大，究竟第3次的交手结果会如何？马上欢迎双方选手进场，上路 ，Red 胖。打野 Shadow Histo， 中路 Pot D-Ray， 下路 Dogo Eddie， 下路的辅助 Kino BA， 教练 Chowi Warhorse。关键的比赛现场难得人山人海哦，大家都知道粉丝的欢呼声已经是战队们赢下比赛最大的动力了。在这边，请借用汤叔叔一点时间，我想听听现场会觉得今天谁会获得比赛的胜利。现场如果觉得今天的比赛最后会有 TSW 赢下比赛的粉丝们，来点欢呼声。OK， 但今天现场有很多 CFO 的粉丝，让我们看看 CFO 的能量今天汇集的如何。觉得今天的比赛 CFO 将会赢得最后胜利的粉丝们在哪里 ？All right， 关键的一场比赛现在正式开始。
All right, as Tommy is coming in with the huge calls yet again as CFO and Team Secret Whales walk out to what looks like a stacked full arena, and we love to see it, Carricks.
That we do. The Taiwanese fans have come out to support CFO because, again, to remind you of the stakes, a win tonight for them is a return to international play. They will be locked into Worlds if they get over the line tonight.
It is a tall line though. In fact, some might even say it's a whale's worth of line because Secret Whales are no mere opponent. They will take them to all 5 games if it gets to that point. But regardless, no 2v2s tonight here, Carricks. We're jumping straight into draft because it is going to be Secret Whales on that almost always coveted blue side. So CFO have most likely opted in, yes, for the first pick, which means Team Secret Whales chose that blue side, which I really like. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think that the way things are going to play out tonight are going to be very different to how we've seen them. I think as much as we can judge Team Secret Whales off of their game up against Garm, I don't know if we want to read too much into it because I think the whole time they would have been preparing for this matchup. I think they would have seen Garm as sort of a hurdle to jump to get back to the real foe of CFO.
Yeah. Nah, so true, but at the end of the day, Garm now fully out of the picture means Vikings have secured their spot, and we're seeing a Rise ban actually making its way here, so there's a couple priority picks left open. This Rest is going to be looking to pick up the first one. Like, what really comes to mind? Like, Nocturne's still been left up here. You've also got stuff like the Pantheon, J4, Xin. Even if we're looking towards the top side, Rumble is still a highly sought-after champion.
Yeah, I think that was the one I was going to point out, is Rumble. I think getting Rest on a champion that sort of nullifies any shenanigans and aggression that Pun might try and go for in lane. That Pun is a player that likes to try and muscle his opponent top laner early. You can't do that into a Rumble. He just overheats and runs you down. I don't know if we want to go towards Olaf. Pun, he's not been particularly successful in this one, but I'd like this Lee Sin. You said you'd like to see his toe on it if it gets through the draft, and I think you're going to get your wish.
I love being a soothsayer character. You know what? I just need to do it about like 10 or 15 more times for it to really be successful. But still, hovering a Nefiri there is kind of interesting when you already have the Lee Sin pick. So maybe they're hovering and saying, maybe we know you're going to take this as the Galio now being picked up in the mid lane for D-Ray. I actually like this a lot.
Well, this has actually been a flex pick for Team Secret Wales. We've seen Pun going on to this Galio as well as an answer into the Rumble. So this is still very flexible. I would lean towards it going mid. I agree with you, but it's just something to keep in mind. Shadow, Nefiri's super obvious. He's had incredible performance on it. This champion is super strong at the moment. Synergizes really well with, say, Orianna, who is still available.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably going to get banned out here if they do decide to lock in the Nautilus, which I think is a top tier pick for Kino. Give them something with some strong engage, a lot of resistance in these team fights, and a bit more of a front line. Remember, you have a Rumble now, so having Kino being that front tank is going to be so impactful for them, and locking it in, I think, is an exceptional call. It really depends what we start to look at for the other side. Alistair being hovered here as well, so getting another tank to sort of be able to soak up a lot of that engage. So I really like this, and I think it's going to be very utilized well in the hands of BA.
Yeah, I agree. Just going sort of tank for tank, engage for engage in the support role. The one thing this does open up is a potential Silas pick for Pout. He's had really good performances on this champion. You may have to ban it out with Galio and Alistair already picked up. I'm a little bit scared of that if I'm Team Secret Wales.
Yeah, no, I definitely would be. I think Silas has already shown that it can be quite a menace, but especially like you said, nice work there, instantly called it. Maybe you're the soothsayer as well, but maybe it's just our job, Carricks. That's the big upside to all of this. But I like this. The Silas ban is always good. There are like other champions that you could look to take off the rift. I think Orianna needs to be thought about at least here. It does mean we're going to be moving away from those AP mages in the bot lane too, so we want to see Doggo on those more traditional carries, which they have been doing a lot more of since we got onto the latest patch. But regardless, I do think a ban towards it is going to be smart here, at least forcing it into a game where it won't have the same level of maybe impact with an Nefiri holding it there. If you put it with maybe a J4 or a Xin, it can be stymied a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, but there's still so many picks available for the bot lane. ADC, like, these are two supports that don't really tell us what their ADCs want to do. You can sort of stick a Nautilus and Alistair with any support, with any ADC, I should say, even mages. I like the Syndra ban a lot. This is something that CFO has been picking up whenever they really can. It's flexible between Pout and Doggo. It's been more Pout. But it's just really strong, and particularly with Nautilus, can follow up on long-range engage off of the ult, off of the hook. And if you hit someone with an equalizer, Syndra damage layered over the top with Nefiri getting a reset as well, that person is just 100% dead. It will let Shadow run through fights. So good ban there. And Corki, the ADC of choice to be taken away, obviously the Ezreal already gone. I mean, Eddie's still got plenty of strings in his bow.
Oh yeah, and you know what? We didn't even think about it because they got that first second pick. They're able to lock in the Orianna themselves. Now a Talia being hovered here too means it can be another flex, but they obviously do want to be picking up quite soon. And a Felios with a Nautilus. I'm not even sure how I really feel about that. I think Varus definitely tells a better tale. The only difference is, please don't play lethality. We saw it somewhat useless last night until the incredible late game. And then even then, it was mostly the top laner doing it. But I prefer the Jhin here. I like this sort of pickup.
Yeah, I like the Jhin a lot. I think where sometimes I have criticism towards Jhin picks is when your ADC needs to be your biggest source of damage, and then a Jhin just can't do that. But in this composition, the Jhin does not need to be the main source of damage. I'm not believing that, Hubba. Particularly with a Victor in the mid lane, bringing a huge amount. I mean, it would be such an aura moment. It'd be hype and aura. No question, but I think this Kai'Sa will actually be the pick. Plays around a lot of what CFO has. No, they go the Yunara. This is risky. This isn't a mobile ADC into a composition that eats a mobile ADCs.
Yeah, but I also don't mind it at the end of the day. If it has that space to make some moves, if you can get that ultimate popped and you get some dashes around, you might be able to get enough damage in the mid to late game too. Like we've been seeing the Kraken into the Hurricane, so you are doing a lot of that, multiple members being hit. But I do somewhat worry about the Shadow on this Nefiri's, how it's going to be working into it, because Eddie's just the target. You don't even really have to worry about D-Ray at this point. They're going to be a one shockwave once Histo goes in. We're going to be followed up with the hero's entrance. Like, I think there is some concern where Eddie's just going to be hard focused in this early game, and then it's really on D-Ray who needs to carry that slack for damage.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I like putting a lot of eggs in the Eddie basket. I like having that faith in him. I like that Team Secret Wales isn't backing down from sort of the ADC matchup where, you know, we were saying earlier, Doggo is just the best ADC in the league right now. He's in incredible form. That said, it does put a huge amount of pressure on one player. If Eddie just has an off game, or if Shadow can go down there early and set that Yunara behind, it could have disastrous impact for Team Secret Wales.
No, totally agree. But in Eddie, we trust. That is the truth. This is the reason we brought them up as our featured matchup here tonight. Eddie has been putting in the work, putting in the numbers as we get onto the Rift here. Carrick's first game of the night. We called the Lee Sin. Now we're seeing Pun on the Galio into Rest Rumble. It's a bit of a unique matchup. We've seen it quite a bit overseas as well. The Galio is going to be able to hold fast a little bit more, but it's going to be a very slow top lane, which I think is going to bode well here for Secret Wales.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Pun has had very 50-50 performances on this Galio, I'll be completely real. There's a bit of a scuffle in the bot lane, but it's just supports being hit. Nothing to write home about quite yet.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little bit of support or combat, as it is just going to be a bit of a slow start yet again, not looking for those all-ins. I think, again, Doggo is one of these players that can take this sort of marksman on the Jhin and really put the work in. But you got to be very careful, because Kino's Nautilus, Kino's hook champions have been so good of late, and they've been very on point. Except for that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he's just going fishing. Sometimes he misses. That's all right. We won't count it against him. I totally agree. I think as we've moved out of just hyper roaming on supports, we're actually playing the bot lane a little bit more. That has really helped Kino. It's all right. Maybe Soothsayer Pike getting the way of fate a little bit as another hook misses, but he'll catch up. He'll catch up.
Soothsayer Pike can call this and just say, you know what? It be what it be. We're going to see some good hooks later on. Do not worry, chat. They will be coming online. But you see as well, D-Ray keeping up, but already taken quite low. This is Pout's Victor. One of these champions he's had really good performances on. We've seen him be able to carry games on this champion too. So I'm going to be curious if there's going to be a little bit more proactivity from Shadow here to, instead of looking bot side and getting Doggo super fed into Eddie and BA, is looking towards this mid lane, which D-Ray has been known to suffer at the hands of multiple ganks.
Yeah, he does sometimes kind of get put into the hole where he's just got to deal with the fact that the jungler is going to camp him. He's so not necessarily going to be there to bail him out. He's got sort of other jobs to do. But at the same time, it is Orianna versus Victor. It is two majors that I think are fairly happy to farm. Pout should constantly have a health lead just because Victor can land death rays very easily, but I don't anticipate a huge amount of action in the mid lane.
No, and now we're seeing a nice little scuttle pick up there towards this bot side. So Shadow just getting a really nice back here. Going to be slightly up just in that farm. So tempo is going to be good, but I feel like Histo is just going to be beelining to that next scuttle. We could potentially see a fight because Shadow's heading towards top side. Might be looking to maybe even impact this top. But we'll have to see. I think the scuttle probably will just go over here and it'll be a trade 1-for-1. And nice little bit of work is, yeah, nothing too crazy to note in this first game.
Yeah, they do just get vision on Shadow there. As the observers toggle the vision just to show us that vision plant doing its job. Shadow knows that his toe could be here, so he just holds back nicely. The junglers sort of silently reading each other. They know each other so well. But in the end, camps are respawning. Ding, ding, ding. The farm bell's ringing.
The cows are coming home to roost. Wait. That's not what cows do.
Maybe.
That's not what cows do. They might roost. It depends on the type of cow, I guess. But now seeing a little bit of a kerfuffle. But again, Eddie just pushing in a really nice wave here. It is going to be on Doggo just to clear this one out. A couple small items to be picked up nice and early on. I want to look at summoners really quickly. Eddie's gone for the exhaust over something like the barrier. What do you think about that one, Carrix? Oh, good hook. Cancelling Eddie's back.
I actually like it a lot. Where barrier is often used is actually just in lane early on when you're jostling for level 2. You burn a barrier, you get, that extra big burst of health, and you can extend fights. I don't think that was going to be particularly relevant in a Yunara versus Jhin lane. You can see, Doggo has started with that Doran's Helm. Hardly playing aggressive here on this one. So I like the exhaust. You're going to be getting jumped on. It's going to be Shadow diving you constantly throughout this game. Just being able to just slam an exhaust on him, because you can't rely on BA to do it, because BA is going in the other direction in these fights. He's just not going to be there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And BA's more about the disengage for Kino wanting to full engage. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. It's more about Team Secret Whales trying to bait in maybe a bad fight, a bad hook that gets Kino in the wrong position, a slight overextension, and then it's going to get capitalized. And that is what Pun will be looking to do with those big heroes entrances as we get into these 4v5s or the 5v5s that we love to see. So we'll have to see. His first dragon is up on the board. It is a Hex Tech. Histo's making their way down.
Yeah, they know Shadow's here, so Shadow maybe not quite realizing that he's hatching a ward right now. The hook misses.
Ooh. Straight engaged. There's a nice pulverize keeping them up. Is the damage going to be good? As a nice little root comes down. Kino's low. Could be first blood. It heads over to Eddie. Exhaust has gone down, so Doggo has to be careful. And here's D-Ray joining the party too, but caught on a ward here, Carrix.
Yeah, just caught not knowing that they were spotted. It's a great engage from BA that gets Eddie a lead, and that is not who you want to excite. We said in draft that the risk of this composition was that if Eddie gets behind, your whole team is behind. But oh no, we could go again.
His toe flash. Insect is beautiful. Pout cannot do anything, and D-Ray picks up the kill, throws out the Chaos Storm, but it's not going to do anything, and it's Secret Whales with a 1k lead.
And I said, you asked me who I thought was going to take game 1, and though this game has lots left to play, I said that Team Secret Whales were going to be coming out angry about how their last series had gone, and here at 7 minutes, I think they're utilising a bit of that rage.
Yeah, I think sometimes you've got to bring that into the rift. Like, you know how you go down maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 losses in a row in ranked, and you're like, you know what? You can't end on a loss, but now you're angry about it, so you get real feisty. Not toxic, feisty. So you really hard send it, boom, 9th loss. Now you're struggling. It's a whole different mental game, Carrix. I'm just trying to give you an insight into my life recently, but you know what? We don't have to get into that too much. But a really great start here from Secret Whales. They've got this gold lead. What do you think they should be trying to do with it?
I think right now we're just trying to play around the grubs that are going to spawn. They're not an incredibly high prio objective by any means, but it's still, this is an opportunity for BA to leave lane, as we can see he is. Just get some vision control down, make sure that his toe is safe to farm. Unfortunate little theft there.
Kino is here too. Shadow might look for the engage, just calls the pack. Here's BA, jump up into that pack too. Nice little pulverize, sending the headbutt back. Histo is trying to walk out away as Eddie's tanking up some shots. BA might go down here, doesn't have enough health to hold on, and now Eddie is all alone. 4 members of CFO could be converging, but a really nice return play there and a great read from CFO.
Yeah, just Team Secret Whales not respecting the amount of members that CFO were willing to send towards that play. Just overextending. In the end, it's only BA that goes down. It's not the worst. He's able to TP back out onto the map using that unsealed spellbook, so doesn't really lose tempo in vision. What could happen there if your support goes down is because he has to sit in the death chamber and then walk back out onto the map, you might not be able to get vision down around the objective you want to control. He's still up in time, but it's CFO making the call to go Dragon.
Yeah, and Histo's already in the pit. They might be looking for the 50-50 because BA with that TP, you're right, made the really quick call. Doggo's jumping in from the other side. But I feel like the pressure that Secret Whales put on, maybe a slight gold lead, is all that was enough for them to put the pressure in, steal away the Dragon. Like, thanks for the leash, guys.
Yeah, and the tricky thing is Shadow is put into a little bit of a lose-lose situation, like a Zugzwang for any chess enjoyers. You can't 50-50 against the Lee Sin. It's not a 50-50. Lee Sin is able to just time, you just press Smite and Q at the same time. You just do more damage than the enemy jungler's Smite. It's, you know, maybe a 70-30. So it's Shadow is just put in this position of, well, we weren't intending to fight for this. It's not worth fighting for. But I also can't 50-50 it, so yeah, I guess I just have to leave.
Oh, and I love this, that BA's gone for the full walk up, saying, guys, I just got to hold on to this tower as best I can. Kino putting a lot of pressure on, but Shadow is backing just off in the darkness. Just putting that extra pressure on, but now losing out on the top side, which means Histo could be looking for a wraparound gank onto Rest. He might be unaware. Slight pause, waiting out of vision. They don't want to push too hard as now, okay, instead, looking at the grubs.
He was spotted on that ward. He sort of jinked a little bit out of the brush, so Shadow knows he's here. Histo will be able to get at least one grub, so has the option to just leave.
Oh, actually able to kick him straight back into the waiting hands of D-Ray. Shockwave isn't going to hand, but it's all too much. The equalizer goes down, but Histo's Lee Sin cannot be stopped. Absolute disgusting level of gameplay, and that is all 3 grubs now secured for Secret Whales. Instant flash,
but we're going to keep going.
D-Ray couldn't get it done. It is going to be BA trying to tank this one up, holding the line, and D-Ray actually survives. BA is a god.
The Secret Service were there and they said, get down, Mr. President. But let's have a look at this one, because this was incredible by Histo. I said, you have the option to just leave. You've already taken one. He decides, no, I want to. Uses the securing Sonic Wave to go in. Shadow doesn't expect it, doesn't immune the kick, just plays that to perfection. And Pike, I'm starting to see why you said you wanted to see Histo on Lee Sin in game 1.
Look, I didn't say it for no reason here, Carrick. Sometimes when you see a glimpse of the future, you just see some really cool Histo insects that everyone here in the LCP loves to watch, and I'm always here for it. Is now, again, Shadow being forced off these scuttles and just Histo being there at the right time, Eddie being able to collapse. This is a different Secret Whales again. This is what we've been seeing all year long, and I'm really here for it. The gold lead's not huge, but the gameplay is back.
It is, as Hun just hanging out here. This has been a lane we've not really heard anything from. They haven't been able to put any resources up here, and I think that benefits Team Secret Whales. I think if a Rumble just farms even through the early game, the non-Rumble team is pretty happy.
Yep, I totally agree. 100%, because Rumble is going to be doing so much damage in these team fights too, getting close to that first item of the Leandres, but we're seeing both junglers picking up the Eclipse here now too, so a lot of fighting and scrappiness going to be picking up, but Histo doing a really good job just trying to farm up, does secure that quest line, and is up quite a few camps.
Yeah, he is really flying ahead here. I said that I like the fear. He's going to go over this wall.
He has the Dragon's Rage. He hasn't been spotted out. Really cool animation there. Not too bad.
Yep, he was thinking about it. But again, like, look, you could go for the gank there. It's a little bit risky because it was a Rumble with an overheat ready. Not the best time to gank the Rumble, but at the same time, why touch this lane?
Yeah.
Like, you're going even with the Rumble. Hands up, we take those.
Yeah, now you got the holoed Radiance too, so you're going to be able to sustain even more going forward. Now you can start building probably a little bit of that damage, right? This is what Pun probably wants to be able to do. Yes, you have D-Ray who's going to have a lot of this AP damage, with the Shockwave starting off these fights, throwing the ball out, but having a little bit more for Pun once you've already got a little bit of that tankiness online is always going to be super useful. It's about getting these early clears onto the waves and rotating. That is what we want to be seeing from Pun as we start heading into the mid-game.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as we start seeing more involved skirmishes, that's the advantage of the Galio. He just gets there that little bit faster, that little bit more often. We want to see that being utilized. We see he is on the correct side of the map. He can ult in, Rest will have to invest a teleport.
Yeah, burning that is going to be a longer cooldown than just the hero's entrance, so we'll have to see where it's going to be looking as there is a dragon up in 1 second time here, Carrick's, and it looks like it's Secret Wales just wanting to have full control over the tempo of this game.
Yeah, and again, this is just, they call in the numbers that little bit earlier. They have just a team that you can't walk into unless you have vision control. But because Team Secret Wales have just been a little bit ahead in tempo this entire game, how does CFO ever approach them? Pun gets here in time. You're not going to dive a Galio in this situation. CFO, they look a little bit lost. Now, it's only 1,500 gold lead. This is not some gaping wound that can't be recovered from, but it does look like Team Secret Wales are back at their full form.
Yeah, this is the team we have been waiting for once again. Maybe they were just going through after their long extended break and were just trying to get rid of the rust on their fingers, you know, just trying to hold on. They're just like, oh, guys, what are we doing? We're better than this. And now they're saying, we are better than this. Come on, time to lock in. But we'll have to see as the game goes on. CFO are no small feat is the major part here. Now we're seeing Rift Herald being started up. BA taking a bit of a chunk, does get hit with the hook, but not going to be able to do too much. The dredge line is going to be very impactful. Rest is now coming down. Remember, corridors are a Rumble's best friend as they're going straight onto Rest. If you can take out the Rumble, it's even better. There's a great equalizer. Straight back in. D-Ray picks them up. Now Histo on the other side. Curtain call is good. Let's see if Histo wants to take a little bit more of a fight as Kino is going to go down. Double kill for D-Ray is nice. Can Histo re-engage? It's a triple kill for D-Ray just at 15 minutes, and that was just beautifully executed by Secret Wales.
And the curtain's called, but it was lights out for CFO as Team Secret Wales just play that fight to perfection. We'll go through it in the replay, but they played their zones to absolute just exactly how you want to play them. You pointed out corridors are a Rumble's best friend, and let's see how they dealt with the Rumble. They're marking him perfectly and just collapse everything. They actually send the Shockwave in a subpar position, but they recognize that only Rumble's a threat right now. You can use everything on him. It's nice to have a curtain call. Doggo was in a good position where he couldn't get interrupted, but a curtain call at this stage of the game when there's a Galio, a Lee Sin, and an Alistair is just not hitting anyone that matters.
Yeah, and you can look at the damage charts here too, Carrick's, and it was actually Eddie and D-Ray doing a really good job, and a smite straight down. Chaos Storm, the insect again! It's just too much. Histo picking up another kill. Pout didn't know where to go. That was just glitchy of a kill, but I love it.
I mean, this was just execution. Not giving Pout a moment to outplay, not letting him do anything in the micro that could mess up that play. Just perfect stuff there. I mean, I think a lot of people in sort of the LCP community have said, like, why are we even bothering to vote for MVP this split? It's just obviously his toe. And I'm thinking we're seeing why.
Yeah, 205 scoreline. They've got 100% kill participation right now. That 1k gold lead we talked about before is sitting comfortably at 4.2. Now, a little bit of a fight as Histo able just to jump around. Dragon up in just under 2 minutes. They're looking for a dive. Rest is just low, and it is going to go over to Pun. They're just looking tankier and tankier. There's just not enough damage on the side of CFO to make an impact.
And this was another play where, though Histo won't get credit for it, you saw that all of Team Secret Wales were involved. Because CFO were coming down, they recognized that Rest was about to get dove. That was a very telegraphed play. So they were starting to move down, and then Histo just jumps in on Kino, just uses the kick. Just sends the Dragon Rage kick. He doesn't kick him towards his team. There's no real chance of a follow-up. And it looks like, well, that's a bit of a wasted ult. What are we doing? But it's just like, well, no, because now everyone had to stop, kind of deal with his toe for a sec, and it's too late to save Rest.
Yeah, so true. And we're still looking at the map state here as well, Carrix, where no tower has really gone over, but we do have a Rift Herald on Histo. One thing we all know about Lee Sins is if you have a Rift Herald, you don't have a Ward Hop available, so you have to be super careful. One little misplay here could be disastrous, but first tower looks like it could be going over here. Remember, 3 Void Grubs makes it very easy for any push here out of Secret Wales. They have 100% control over every objective this game so far, so they've really put the pedal to the metal, which is what we wanted this team to do.
Yeah, they'll pick up first brick here as well as D-Ray gets funneled that gold. This Orianna already becoming a problem. Half an item ahead of Pat, and that's before a reset with a lot of gold. I think he'll be more than half an item ahead in just a moment. I think this is Team Secret Wales, at least for the first 19 minutes of this game, this might be the highest level I've seen them play at.
Yep, I fully agree, and especially considering CFO, we were praising them for being this team that has really started to shine as these series have sort of unfold throughout the split. Now the Dragon's up, Histo already here, might have to just get away and out of dodges. Now it is CFO sending the full roster down towards this pit, but do not fear, Secret Wales have also come through. CFO need to make the Miracle Dredge line if they want to see something happen, but Pun off in the wings on a ward. He's going to be looking for that Hero's Edge. Great engagement. BA Hero's entrance now coming in. Pout is just blown up again. Histo's locking it down. Look at the stuns down here. The taunts are good. Doggo has no movement, no place. Histo is trying to get it done. Has to survive a little bit longer. Shadow cannot lock him down. And he's cleaning up these fights. He's flashing for the double kill. Looking for a triple. And the clean ace out of Secret Wales put them back in form.
I mean, what is there even to say? The engage could not have been better. In the end, CFO get 1 kill back, but it was just Eddie being a little bit silly. This is destruction. This does not look like first, second, especially given that CFO were first seed as BA finds his way into the backline, the shockwave, and then the Hero's entrance knocking up 3. Rest can't participate in this fight. He drops an equalizer to make a potential dragon steal. That means they don't have that for their own escape. It looked like CFO were out of sorts. They weren't on the same page.
Oh, now we're seeing another fight happening once again. Pun needs to be careful. This is no laughing matter as he's taking up a lot. Seeing the curtain call coming out, but trying so hard to hold them back. Shadow looking for a little bit more. Pun needs to stay very safe. Histo might be looking for the re-engage, but I feel like Secret Wales know when they have lost this fight. Smite goes forward, but still the dredge line lands. Nice. Dragon's Rage is good. Let's see if Histo wants to continue this fight. So they're not going to follow up with that second engagement. Okay, here comes D-Ray. The damage just so good. They slowed the fight down, and Eddie charging forward, it's not enough. D-Ray looking to clean up once again. A double kill. Now the Hero's entrance. Locking down Shadow is going to get the knock up, but D-Ray doesn't have the mana to follow up again. But Secret Wales still clean up the fight.
I mean, this is ridiculous, right?
21 minutes and it's a 10k gold lead. What is going on?
I mean, this is destruction. This looks like Team Secret Wales taking on, you know, a bottom of the table team, not CFO, who, again, are the #1 seed. You've invested all of that damage into Pun, that the entire Jin ult has been used. CFO, you must turn around. You have nothing left in this fight. Maybe you kill BA. In a better universe, you kill BA there, but who cares? It's just the Alistair. He's done his job. He'll happily go to the Death Chamber because there is nothing stopping the rest of Team Secret Wales just rising out of the ocean and washing over them like a wave.
Yeah, that's so true. They raise that tail and up it goes, and just nothing can be stopped. The boat has flipped. 11.3k gold lead now for Secret Wales as they turn their attention to the Baron. Shadow needs to get the steal with the 50-50, but you called it before. How do you rival Histo's 50-50? It's a great shockwave, hits two. So Equalizer drops on top of the damage, is just too much. D-Ray goes godlike onto this Nautilus, and there's no more damage. Shadow is trying to hit them with everything they've got, but they just don't really have that mark. And even Histo throws up the, ooh, that was a bit of a close one. So they're looking for the scuttle, could be looking for a play. Nice smite does come through, and it will be secured there for Shadow.
That it will. They do manage to get a tiny bit back, maybe a silver lining amongst very, very dark cloud spike, because we are at 11.5k gold lead. And the gold's in the exact right place. It's like, HUD's not very far ahead of Rest. That's fine, it's just a Galio. You take that. They have put the resources where they need to be. It's D-Ray, it's Eddie, and it's Histo with enormous leads. Team Secret Wales, I was saying, and I think you were saying as well, they looked a little bit rusty. They looked out of sorts. Not anymore, as BA finds another way in.
Looking through that blast cone, gets a nice little pulverize, but look at Histo's damage. Eddie cleaning that fight up regardless. And there's no jungle that CFO can walk into anymore. It's all Histo's. He has full control. He has the vision. And Eddie is 5-1-5, along with D-Ray, who is 7-0-9.
Yeah, this is... We're just going over the wall with a shockwave.
Straight on in. BA wants more damage. There's nothing they can do. Eddie getting to the killing spree that they deserve. And this tower is going to be low as they're trying to tank it up. Wave is going to join them, but I feel like they can just reset because the dragon is up. It's Soul Point. We haven't even had a chance to talk about the dragons properly here, Carricks, because Team Secret was just full sending this game. You can see the frustration on CFO in their KMs. They just feel lost, and it's Secret Wales that have found their number.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first tower going down for CFO. They have only just gotten any structure that is Dragon Soul secured for Team Secret Wales. I mean, at this point, we're just thinking about game 2 if we're CFO. We have to know that the ship has sailed.
As long as the Nexus is up, Carricks, anything is possible. That is the difference. We've seen it all the time, but now with the Baron up on the board still, it was almost tasted a little bit before. Now we're going to be seeing if they can lock it down once again, as all of Team Secret Wales are coming back incredibly jacked. I'm looking at Eddie. Look at D-Ray. 25 stacks on that Magi's is disgusting.
Yeah, you say that they're all looking incredibly jacked. D-Ray's been working out at the library with the size of that book. As Baron down to half health. I think Team Secret Wales, they don't really care about getting the Baron so much as they care about forcing CFO into a fight.
Yeah,
Curtain's
now we're seeing
open.
the curtain call is going up, and there's Histo looking to go forward, and he's going to be picked up. Eddie locking it down. Shadow is going to get out of dodge, but no, he cannot survive long enough. D-Ray did pick up just another, as it's just disaster after disaster. A Dragon's Rage sends Pout maybe to the other side. Histo doesn't have the damage, doesn't have the energy. As a double kill again for D-Ray. They're just going to look to clean this game up right now. 26 minutes, Pout has to flash away. Pun wants more damage too. They're walking down. Yes, that equalizer drop, but the second they hit the tower, the grub mites pulled up. Now they're just waiting for this next wave to hit and just be able to clean up. BA holding this wave. Secret Wales, where have you been for the last 3-4 weeks? This is absolutely gross gameplay. They're at the Nexus 27 minutes into this game, looking to clean up game 1 here of this series.
My, oh my, Team Secret Wales, they are back, as that was a dominant performance. Anyone that had doubts about them thought that maybe they were washed up, the Wales were beached. Nah, we're back in the water and we are looking incredible.
They're looking fast, they're looking dangerous, they've got the moves, they've got the plays. The only criticism I could have here, Carricks, we're in Fearless. We're not going to see the Lee Sin again. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one downside of Fearless, is we don't get to see more than one game of Histo Lee Sin. Now, the big test here is how do we recover the mental for CFO? This is a really, really experienced roster. You've lost plenty of game ones. Game one is not the be-all and end-all, but to lose in that fashion, the coaches, it's time to earn your keep.
Yeah, no, that's so true. The draft was looking so good. I would argue that both sides had a very good draft regardless, but the fact that CFO got such high priority picks like the Rumble, like the Neferi, even the Victor and Nautilus, these champions usually have such a strong win rate because of how impactful they are in this game. We just saw a better team charge forward. The Rumble was answered with the Galio. You still got that Orianna locked in, and Victor just wasn't able to find anything. I think one thing that we've talked about when it comes to Secret Wales is if you can give D-Ray a little bit of an edge, give them that lead, they can do some very dangerous things. I think we've just seen other teams focus him so hard that they shut him out. But Rise is still up on the cards for both of these players. I really like this score. 22 kills to 2 Carricks. What is that?
It's destruction is what it is, Pike. It is a Team Secret Wales that looked on fine form. I think every single player had a perfect match in terms of what they needed to do. Obviously, it's really easy to talk about Hisco. He was just putting on highlight plays, and, you know, I will keep talking about him. But even Hunt, who was a little bit quieter, but that's just because they let Rest get the Rumble. You have to know when it's not banned and CFO have first pick that that's going to get picked. It's not a hard read. You know that that's coming. You just go, whatever, pun. Just pick the Galio. You'll survive lane. He goes even in lane. He has more impact in team fights. The heroes' entrances, we were constantly calling them out. We were not calling out equalizers. So he does his job to perfection. BA was finding engage, was being a really, really excellent ball carrier for D-Ray. Maybe the only criticism is Eddie had a hyper carry and didn't hyper carry, but I can't criticize him because he didn't have the opportunity to.
Well, I think it's not even that. It's like they did technically hyper carry. It's just the rest of the team looked like they hyper carried too. Like, that's the hard part. It's like, how do you stand out when everyone on your team is looking so good? Like, that's the biggest and hardest part here. So I don't think Eddie had a bad game. Eddie did have a good game, got some good kills, had good control over the lane. Like, even here we see Eddie does come up into this fight and starts to have that impact. I think it was just like, how can we talk so highly about one player when everyone was looking so good?
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to really emphasize how good everyone was because certain players draw the eye because of what champion they're on, who they are. I mean, but let's talk about CFO. Sort of what went wrong here? I feel like at no point were they on the same page.
Look, I think the big thing here of note in regards to what made them look like they were somewhat struggling is Histo was just feeling really comfortable in this matchup. The Neferi, they've probably been screaming into it, finding out what makes this Neferi tick, and they were able to just really control the state of the game. So I think Histo being proactive, it's literally what I called out at the start of the night. If Secret Wales can be on point, fast, not reactive, active on the map and pushing the tempo, they can really get it done. But Carricks, let's go to a short break. We got more games to come. Don't go anywhere, guys. Secret Wales, they're looking prime, but CFO, they need to start pulling it back. We'll see you in just a minute.
This is Amumu. Amumu couldn't figure out what items to buy, so he left his base without them. This is widely regarded as a bad move.
Inevitably.
The Rift is a dangerous place when you're unprepared, so you'll need to stock up on the strongest items Runeterra has to offer. Here's what you should keep in mind when perusing the shopkeeper's wares. If you're heading to the jungle, you'll need to buy the Hunter's Machete and some health potions to survive your first clear. Most other champions do well with some boots of speed and health potions to get right into the action. Just remember that you only need one boot item for your build. I know you want to go fast, but you don't get extra movement speed after your first set. So pick the style of boot that works best for you and stick with it.
Okay.
When buying items, start with what your champion wants to do most. Dealing tons of attack damage, go for Trinity Force or Infinity Edge. Casting powerful magical abilities, Deathfire Grasp and Rod of Ages have you covered. Trying to become an unkillable tank? Sunfire Cape has the health you're looking for. And if you're a jungler, you should probably upgrade your Hunter's Machete into Spirit Stone or a Madrid's item. If you're a support, your budget's going to be pretty tight, so it's important to make the most of each purchase. Items like Heart of Gold and Philosopher's Stone give you extra gold generation, which can make up for all that farm you definitely aren't taking. You'll also want to get items like Sightstone that give you a pool of wards to use instead of having to buy each one individually. Once you've finished building your first item, start thinking about what the enemy team does well and what you need to counter it. For example, Banshee's Veil gives you a spell shield that fully blocks the next enemy ability, making it a perfect answer to champions like Annie who thrive on burst damage. Once you've finished your responsible shopping, feel free to check out some more creative purchases. Niche items like Banner of Command could catch your opponents off guard and shift the game in your favor. You never know until you try, so get out there, experiment, and find the perfect build for your champion and playstyle.
A clever fox is never caught.
恭喜 Caps 入选了名人堂。
Chúc mừng Cap đã được vào Hall of Flame.
Chúc mừng Cap đã vào Hall of Fame của Liên minh Huyền Thoại.
이번에 G2 캡스 선수가 명예전당에 헌정됐다는 소식을 들었는데 되게 많이 축하드리고요. 어떻게 보면 G2의 심장이라고 생각을 하는데 꾸준히 좋은 모습을 보여주는 게 정말 대단하고 생각하고 멋있다고 생각하는 것 같습니다. 명예전당 정말 축하드립니다.
キャップス選手が他のプレイヤーと違う部分言うと本番の大舞台でものすごく強いっていうのがあるんじゃないかなと思いますね。やっぱり彼ほどの逆境に強いプレイヤーっていうのはなかなかいないんじゃないかなと思います。キャップス選手改めてオールオブレジェンドおめでとうございます。
我最欣赏 Caps 的点就是永不放弃吧，然后每一年都在为自己的未来打拼。
因为我之前在欧洲也打过一段时间吧，然后那时候也跟他做过对手，所以我觉得他很努力，然后我觉得他这名人堂记得没毛病。好，
Mình xin chúc mừng Cap đã ghi danh vào đại sảnh huyền thoại.
恭喜 Caps 入选名人堂。
캡스 선수 명예전당에 입성하신 것을 정말 축하드립니다.
恭喜 Caps 入选英雄联盟名人堂。
我认为新生代选手，尤其是 LEC 赛区的，应该都会算是把它当成中路的标榜，有点像是 Faker 的感觉了。恭喜 Caps 入选名人堂，又达成了一个里程碑。
Mình xin chúc mừng Cap đã bước vào đại sảnh danh vọng nhé.
But here we go, Dustin.
Itai, the 1v1, Itai comes out on top. If they have to, here comes the hero's entrance. They have the speed.
Locked and loaded here, Carrick. Secret Wales are looking so strong after just game one. Absolutely dominating here in this series and a best of 5. CFO have got a lot of work to do if they want to keep up with this kind of tempo.
They've got an enormous amount of work to do. I think you got to just treat this next game as game one. You just got to say, like, all right, but that was just a scrim or something. We're going to put that behind us. We're going to come in locked and loaded for game 2 and figure out where we're going to go, because I feel like not only did CFO get like kind of stopped in game 1, they lost a lot of champions that I think are really good for them. They lost Shadows Nefiri. They lost Rumble for rest. I don't think that's going to be something they're happy about.
No, like these are priority picks. Like these are ones that you usually want to dominate on. You get them early so you can just lock it out. But I think when I called that Lee Sin, like that is his sort of speciality right now. He loves these complex champions that can make moves and be very aggressive. So we'll have to see whether they're going to be able to do something more with that as well on the other side of it. There are still a lot of junglers to be played here because it is a best of 5 here, Carricks. We've got champions like Pantheon, Nocturne, Xin, J4, Wukong, Vi, Poppy. The list goes on. If I had to pick one, I'm just going to see if I can pick Histo's drafting for the rest of this series, right? Let's see if I can do it. I think they're going to lock in. He's going to get J4. He's going to get J4.
Getting a prior pick. All right. I wouldn't blame them. They should give him prior pick. I'd like it. But,
I think it's important,
we'll have
right?
to see.
I think it's important. I think there's something for it. If Histo gets those leads and is the playmaker for the team, the rest of the team knows how to rally. But we'll have to see if it gets through the banning phase. You never know, because CFO chose first pick, which means Team Secret Wales chose blue side yet again. Very similar to first game.
Exactly. These bans will probably look almost identical. There's just no real reason to change any of these. I don't want to go into Pouts Cassiopeia if I'm Team Secret Wales. I don't want to go into Eddie's Ezreal if I'm CFO. We'll probably just leave those first. The Team Secret Wales does seem to have at least a little bit of discussion as it's going to be the Rise ban. So looking exactly the same as game 1. But it's CFO with first pick again.
Yeah, well, okay, you know what? I knew there was going to be a J4. I just forgot that CFO got first pick. So you know what? I was kind of half right. I'll take that. That's fine. Yeah. Now, what do you answer into the J4 is the big question, right? Like, Nocturne is still technically available. Wukong could be kind of good. We need something with mobility. Vi is a good answer.
Yeah, I think Vi's a good answer. I like Wukong. I think Nocturne we maybe save. I don't think Nocturne into J4 has made me super happy. Poppy unfortunately banned out, but damn
it,
Vi is going to be the pick. So you did call it in the end. You just called it a little bit late.
Oh, look, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not perfect at the end of the day, but the Vi Ahri, we saw this played last night too. It's a very strong combo, very, very versatile. Now, Sylas has to be a concern, but if you pick the Sylas, that is always going to be somewhat rough. Like, Ahri does just win this out. D-Ray has those skills to be able to control the lane, and that's a Callista, most likely a Renata too. So I feel like a little bit more of a change up here for Doggo, going back to something a little bit more hyper carry.
Yeah, and this has been coming back into the meta, this Callista Renata. I like where it was picked as well. They had, like, you know, Sylas wasn't pickable for Team Secret Wales. They already had a minute of jungle. Not going to really play Sylas top at the moment. So just can't be counterpicked into the Renata. Sylas is a really strong pick into it. So take it away. And I kind of said before we got started that I was interested to see where Gnar ends up. I like it a lot, making sure that Rest can't get it. Your engage combo of Callista Renata with a Jarvan and a Gnar was going to be getting out of hand.
Yeah, no, I really do like that too. My big concern here is there's going to be a lot of full engage here from Histo on this Vi, right? Which means the hostile takeover for Kino is going to be very, very good. If they can land a really nicely angled one around a Dragon Pit, around a Baron Pit, down these corridors, there's no escaping. They have to get over these walls. And if something's on cooldown, there's nowhere for you really to go. As we're going to get into the second ban phase, and I love that with the Gnar being picked up, we're looking towards this top side. The Jace is being blocked out. I think this is a really smart call. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another bruiser like the Ambessa maybe taken off the board, or even a Yorick.
I think Yorick has to be banned out. I think that is the counter pick into the Gnar. Rest has had good performances on it, and we want to let Pun have a strong lane. If we can push Rest down the tier list a little bit, at least in terms of counter picks, it will leave something like Vayne open, but like frankly, if Rest is going to throw that one down, maybe we just let him and try and answer with the jungle, but it's going to be Pout Akali, and I mean, I've seen Pout play Akali. I don't blame them.
Yeah, no, you sort of have to. It's like a respect ban at this point. It's the same as usually we see the Ezreal ban for Doggo, but now we're seeing a couple other different champions come through. I doubt we'll start seeing that Samira ban unless we get to a 4th or maybe even a 5th game, but the Seraphine being the final ban, I love that these picks, these final bans are very versatile. The Lucian obviously takes the Milio off the board. The Seraphine takes the Ashe off the board too. So it means we are left open with something very unique like a Nyla?
Interesting. I don't know if we actually go to this, but it would answer into the Kalista pretty well. Jinx would be crazy here. The Jinx is not something we've seen in a long time. Ziggs makes more sense.
Look, I love the Ziggs here because you've picked that one up nice and early. It's not going to be able to pick up potentially for a mid lane, which I highly, highly doubt anyway, but means the Leona is going to be risen so highly in priority here, and that has fantastic lockdown considering you're trying to catch a Kalista.
Yeah, exactly. I think this... Ooh, hang on a second. I mean, this is just a hover. There's a Kalista already locked in. This is just Doggo showing off a champion he likes. There's no way we're going to play Xerath mid. No, we go to Sylas. Oh, okay. There are good ults to steal. Gnar ult is fantastic into Sylas. For Sylas, I should say. Because the whole thing with Gnar ult is, yeah, his ult is kind of broken, but it's locked behind his Gnar bar and he doesn't have full control over it. Sylas just gets to use it.
But I think there's definite disadvantage to this pick. Oh, Malphite being picked up here towards this top side. Obviously, we might be seeing an early Black Cleaver out of Pun for this, but okay, instead we might be seeing they're hovering a Jax. Maybe not. Maybe.
I think Jax is risky, but at the same time, just brawling with the Sylas. When Sylas goes in, you have... Jax on top of him. I mean, it would be Jax support, so maybe not. Yeah, I think Rakan makes more sense.
Well, I like the Rakan here because now they're thinking in a bit of a different game set where they're thinking about the series to come. Because when you start locking down other champions, like Xayah really only functions with a Rakan in the game too. So the Xayah pick now is going to be in full safety and it has to go with potentially a different tank. But I feel like not getting that extra added bonus with the Rakan in game makes it so much harder. But now that we're in this game, I think the Rakan with the entrance here, along with the Ziggs, who is going to be very comfortable to just sit solo in lane. Kalista will really need this Renata to be somewhat relevant. Yes, they're going to be rotating around, but Kalista is a bit of a slow-going champion. You get those 2-3 items on the board, you get your Ginsus, you get your Hurricane, and you start to do really good stuff. So I think Ziggs is going to have a lot more control, which I think Eddie should feel quite comfortable on.
Yeah, I agree. I think Eddie has a comfort pick, should be totally fine here. This is going to be an interesting one because it's CFO. I think they've picked actually a very similar comp to game one, at least in terms of how it should play out. They want to be fighting skirmishes. They want to be finding 5v5s. But game one, that really didn't work out. Histo is on a, I don't want to say lower impact, but maybe a lower solo impact champion. So maybe that gives them the window.
And I think this is the other side of Secret Wales, right, is we know Histo is, you know what, I'll just say it, probably the best player in the LCP. I think that's why they were the star champion. They earned themselves that title. I think at some point when you are this sort of roster that needs to be the best team in the league, you can't just bank everything on one player.
Yeah, that is actually very, very true. You cannot put all of your eggs in one basket. You have to have more of the team locked in, locked and loaded, ready to go. As we get onto the Rift, we're going for a little bit of a walk early. It's just going to be Raptor Ward.
Yeah, not too bad of a walk. I do like seeing where these players are going, at least getting this early vision. So you can see there is that extra blue ward on the red buff on this bot side for Team Secret Wales, which means they just want to get that extra security knowing that there's not going to be like an engage. But now being taken out Doggo doing a good job just walking up and trying to put this pressure on Eddie, not letting him last hit, but because they walked up and took some minion aggro, Eddie should be able to clean up and still secure this little bit of farm. I love the Comet pickup here, Carrick's. Like, let's talk about what Eddie's going to be able to do with this Comet rune.
Well, he's just going to be able to poke forever, really. He can just sit back. It's very hard to dodge the Comet, particularly when it's coming from a minefield onto someone like Kino. No inherent mobility as BA does get a handshake given to him. This was just that level 2 spike. CFO punishing. But the big thing here is that Eddie has not picked this to win lane. He's trying to go even, just trying to survive, get to the point where he has enough mana that BA can leave the lane and doesn't have to worry about him.
Yeah, and you can see as well, quick little engage D-Ray, nice flash out, because one false step there would have been disastrous as Shadow looking towards this mid, and we talked about this, if they can just bully out D-Ray, it alleviates a lot of pressure. Now Histo, going to be able to find Shadow as they're walking through, but Histo showing a lot of respect.
Yeah, just really giving up on that, just, as you said, showing the respect as Eddie finds a bit of damage onto Kano, but takes those rockets to the face at the same time.
Ooh, being spotted out on a ward too, so BA was walking down to that tri-brush in the spot side. We'll have to see is, we're seeing up on this top side, it's a very interesting gameplay, right? Pun, we know Pun's going to have a huge CS lead regardless, it is a Malphite, but the health difference here is quite substantial too. Don't be fooled, all you awesome folk out there, it is the Shamrock skin, so that healing isn't just part of the lucky charm of this skin. He did use a pot to be able to activate that cool glow, but being a green rock is pretty sick, because there's the flash forward. Kino's going to get the handshake, got to throw out the bomb as the satchel is used nicely. Flashes go forward, they want Eddie, but they're not going to be able to hold them back too much, and Doggo gets taken dangerously low.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get punished for this, but that is 2 flashes invested. They don't pick up the kill. They knew that they were safe to make the play because Shadow was in the area. They had a pretty good read that Histo wasn't going to be able to come down and instantly punish. But with the teleport back, that thing that the Ziggs is allowed to have, and
Satchel straight off the bat, and it was an overstay there from CFO, and Kino just got punished.
Yeah, they go for this incredibly aggressive play, but the teleport just lets Eddie come back on full health. And I mean, maybe a little bit unlucky that Kino's caught out as his toe is being collapsed on, but he is a Vi, should be able to get over the wall.
Yeah, should be able to get out of dodge, but Pout is also here. Nice extended range. The flag and Drake to follow. Pout is actually looking for the return fire into D-Ray. Gets a lot of charges off. Now Histo trying to fight back. Here comes BA. Gets a good shield. Nice flash out of Shadow, trying to keep them out of dodge. Charm does land, and Shadow's just gone overcommitted and punished for it.
What are we doing, Shadow? Like, I understand what he's thinking. He's thinking, let's see what, we'll have to go through it as we go through replays, because, look, maybe Kino gets a little bit unlucky here. This is, of course, the first half of the play. It's the second half where he maybe gets a little bit unlucky. As the teleport comes back in, he gets knocked at a pretty weird angle by the satchel. It was just really good by Eddie. But this is where I sort of want to talk about it. No, we're not going to replay it because there's been a murder in the top lane.
Look, and sometimes they say, can we move mountains? It's the question that was asked for Secret Wales, and sometimes you ask, can Wales do that? But let's look at this replay at this top side. So, Pun going mega, and Rest flashing and couldn't survive the fight. That's just so rough. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, just gets caught out. Now, Pun looking pretty big.
The power of the Narbar. It is something everyone should be fearing, especially at this tier of gameplay. And that is 3 kills now to Secret Wales with a 2k gold lead here, Carricks.
And the scary thing is, it's Team Secret Wales with 3 kills and a 2k gold lead. They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They've just caught the cat. They've, CFO's thrown them the ball and they've just, had the gloves on and said, oh, good throw, sport. I just don't understand. We didn't see the replay of Shadow overextending, but I understand what he's doing. He does win the 1v1. Jarvan at this point in the game just beats Vi in a 1v1. He thinks, oh, my support is rolling out onto the map. It's like, yeah, but your support just died. Of course they're going to be second to the play. Of course PA is going to get there first. You're on his side of the map and he didn't die. He's just 10 seconds faster.
Yeah. No, so true, but now we're seeing a little bit of that proactivity around from CFOs. They're trying to get some good vision onto this drag, maybe looking to start it up, because instead, Histo's happy to make that trade and just clear out this top side, throwing in some good vision, but it feels like CFO are aware that there's this sort of counter jungling going on. Void Grubs are not up for another minute and a half, and D-Ray's just used the Spirit Rush just to try and put Pout in his place, but no pouting just yet. I want to come back to this sort of play. You talked about it really nicely, but I want to point it in a slightly different direction. It feels like CFO are maybe trying a little bit too hard and they're getting really punished for it. You talked about how Shadow is just stronger in the 1v1. I agree, but it feels like it's desperation rather than being proactive. I feel like they're feeling so much pressure and that sort of balance or need to perform that they're getting lost in the beast.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I like holistically ignoring that I know how it ends up. I like what Shadow was doing. Not so much that you should be trying to kill his toe there. At some point, you have to stop chasing, and it's probably before you kill him, just damage-wise. But what it let Pout do was, because Shadow was holding his toe off, Pout went for a really aggressive trade onto D-Ray, got some really good lane positioning. I like all of that, but I agree with you. It's like he felt the need to extend the play to try, instead of getting like a little 2% advantage, he was like, well, I could flip it and get a 20% advantage, but it's never worth it. I totally agree with you. I think, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure on CFO, and maybe that is because this is a qualification to Worlds game for them. It's not for Team Secret Wales.
Yeah, like Secret Wales, they've already locked their place. They know where they stand on the ladder regardless. It's more like a pressure to say, yeah, we came first, but Histo picking up one of these grubs means it's not going to go over the full direction. Now, Pun, once again, dealing with rest, does have the Unstoppable Force, has to use it defensively to survive. The Cataclysm now on this bot side. Histo flashing out of the walls is nice to see, but Secret Wales, they're looking to collapse. They are going to lose out on the 2 grubs, so they only picked up the 1, but denying so much more. Pun doesn't have Mega, so I think Secret Wales are making the right call not to fight.
Yeah, but they were just keeping them honest, right? Rest had to hold his TP until everything sort of dissipated. He was just sort of standing on the pad being like, I need to teleport bot, but I can't press the button until this fight has gone away. Because if I press the button and the fight's still there, they're going to instantly engage and we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So it just buys like another tower plate for Eddie, just a little bit more gold. It is going to be balanced back by the fact that Doggo shoves a massive wave into this tower, but can't stick around for plates.
Yeah, no, definitely not, especially when there's a bit of reactivity. Eddie taking quite low, but so has Rest, who's been feeling the hurt that is the range disadvantage. Pun now being 2 kills up to 0 deaths, 1.4k gold lead in this top side. We've seen Pun carry on less. And it comes back to that point of difference that we talked about, Carrick, before, is sometimes Histo needs to learn to be just a full enabler for his team and let them carry him sometimes too. I'm not to say that he can't carry the game, but I think when you are up against this J4 and there's a little bit of a rougher sort of matchup in the jungle, giving that pressure over, seeing Eddie with a free kill as well, it just gives them so much agency to make moves and freedom to do that just as much.
Yeah, I completely agree. The agency is all in Team Secret Wales' hands because, again, I sort of said it before, but it wasn't Team Secret Wales cashing in their tempo to get this lead. It was actually CFO cashing in their tempo and things going wrong as the bomb is thrown, no damage found, but Eddie's full health.
Yeah, sending a little bit more as the Fate's Call is being used. There's the hostile takeover sent onto Eddie, but it is just a sneaky little Ziggs. Now looking for a little bit more. Is a great satchel charge, sends them flying, and the TP was also burnt here by Pout, so forcing them back, and they don't even look low, Carricks.
Yeah, no, that teleport pretty much just saved CFO, but now Pout has to go back. This is a dive.
This is a big one because Histo has everything up. Flash might be down, but a Sundered Sky locked in, plus a cease and assist is finding them in the bushes. If second they walk out, it's going to be locked in straight onto Doggo. Not much more you can do. The charm is good. D-Ray picks it up and sends them flying as there is a really nice Cataclysm. It picks up a kill on the return, but D-Ray still has these Spirit Rush charges, and it's so much agency yet again. Double kill here for D-Ray, who's starting to shine.
And I just don't think we can ever go there. Like, we've got Histo. He's coming back out onto the map on his Sundered Sky timing. We go for an incredible... We go for this teleport from Pout. I don't mind that. He basically uses the teleport to save his bot lane. He's going to lose a wave for it. What I really don't like is Shadow thinking he can salvage that.
Ooh, straight on in. Spirit Rush is available for Pout, who did hijack it away, but first tower has now already been secured. The power of the Ziggs for Eddie is well online. They got their nice little quest unlocked, but second dragon is up.
And Team Secret is just going to give this one up. They have a Shadow coming back out on the map. He is pretty strong at the moment after that reset. Histo hadn't gotten his full boots yet, so it would have been an even jungle fight. They just don't want to take that. They don't so much care about these early dragons. The scaling will benefit them as the game goes on, and Kalista starts having a really hard time playing into this comp. Like, at some point, Doggo's damage is going to be good, but you are hopping through minefields, but we can have a look at how this went. Because it's kind of just a fight for nothing. They have this teleport coming in. I like that Pout's there, but the hostile takeover really does nothing, and Pout is frankly just too late.
Yeah.
But where this fight goes, where this goes really wrong is not so much like CFO. They can keep walking. It's hard to make that call. You don't necessarily know where Histo is, and you certainly don't know where D-Ray is. But where I think the big mistake is they're dead. The reset is not coming in for Doggo. Why are we cataclysming in? Yeah, okay, you killed BA, but you get traded immediately with a kill onto...
Back in live.
Hang on a second.
Cease and assist is good. Okay, Kino just got absolutely obliterated as Histo didn't even take any health damage. Now, Pout as well is low. Double kill now for Histo. He's already given his team so much, and Rest is not looking for the world. Unstoppable Force is going to be used, but it's not going to be enough. They're running for their life. Rest caught sleeping, but okay, a return kill. Nice pick up there as D-Ray does go down. Rest still just okay. He's actually doing a very good job. Do they commit for it? Like, do they commit? No, just that's crazy.
Rock solid rocks, brother.
Okay. I know that's Rammus, but I had to say it too. As now they're looking for something else. As instead, Kino just died, came back out. The heal was used. They must have seen that it did go on to Rest as well. Just that little sneaky, so they know he's reset. A little bit of a disastrous fight as top tower goes over now. Carricks.
Well, this is going to be a long replay, I think, as we didn't really see how this one started. It was just, a de-warded brush, let Histo be wherever he wanted, locked them in. The bomb damage was enormous. Pout actually plays this well. He survives for a really long time. There's no hope of him actually living, but he buys a fair bit of time, and I think D-Ray, I guess, just gets a little bit caught out. Yeah, was just out of dashes, and then the Ren damage is really big, so he pays for it, but, like, that's fine. You take that trade.
Yeah, 100%. Picking up one kill there is not the end of the world. Now we're looking for some more aggressive Spirit Rushes. The charm just going wide, but it is CFO trying to have some good control. Decided to use that Dragon Strike, not go for the flag and drag in of itself, but now Eddie again left to their own demise to just smash these towers. Don't even need the Void Grubs because you do have a huge satchel charge that can melt them too, but tower picked up. A bounty has been secured too here for CFO, so clawing back a little bit of that gold, but still, it is 4.8k difference here in Game 2 for Secret Wales.
Yeah, it is a nice little fight back. I like that they overload the bottom side of the map. They find something where maybe they should get nothing. Rest as well had the TP, able to get back out, stop Eddie from executing that tower. You pointed out that you don't need Void Grubs when you've got a satchel charge, but Rest was there just in time. But that said, you're still 5,000 gold down at 15 minutes, Pike. It's brutal stuff here, and I still think the biggest issue I'm seeing with CFO is they're not on the same page. All of these skirmishes, it looks like they're not calling their targets right. They're not all on the page of how we want to approach these fights, and I'm a bit worried about it.
Yeah, I think they're definitely on the same page for this one, as they said, let's just get this Rift Herald. They do have 2 dragons available for themselves, so they're somewhat got some stats to play around, but that's on the other side of Team Secret Whales are like, we don't really need to play that game. We know what we want to do. It's take these towers early, open up the map so we have better control over the dragons to come, because as I was saying, there's a dragon up in 1 minute's time, and 4 Infernal Drags is a whole lot of damage.
That it is. Now, the good thing, of course, is that I think Doggo will have time to get to his second item. The gold lead, it is very big between the teams, but between the carry roles is not massive, as Eddie wants to deny as much gold as possible here before he does throw down that satchel charge. He's done a very good job of it as well. Doggo will finally be able to step up and catch those, but the tower goes down. Eddie getting that as Shadow thinks about it, but a teleport has been committed. And no, Doggo, this has taken so much time. Doggo didn't get a chance to reset. It will be 2 fights on the marksman role versus 1.
Yeah, which is very, very big. Now, you got to remember, 1 unstoppable force is enough to decide a game. We're not really seeing a completed item yet out of rest, however, so maybe they're just looking to split it up. They're saying, okay, we've got the first 2 dragons. Let's just give these fights over. They've got a huge gold lead, and it's on the back of these towers. So a dragon now going over to Secret Whales. They've got to look at this stacking. I think the next big play that these teams want to be talking about is Baron.
Yeah, I think we do need to start getting Baron vision 100%, and I like that CFO didn't feel the need to go in for that. I think a lot of teams do get a little bit hypey, say, well, we can go to Soul Point, we can go to Soul Point, it's so good, and it is, but if you lose 3 or 4 of you on the back of it, it hasn't actually gained you anything permanently, so good call by them, they just back off. At the same time, Shadow went in, got a good idea of what camps were up, as now he's gone forward.
Cataclysm, nice to see you go forward. It's an easy target as they're trying to get a little bit more damage off. Doggo taken very low. D-Ray lands the charm. It's just enough. That's beautiful. Shutdown goes in. Let's see if they can clean up the fight. D-Ray jumping back through. Hostile takeover does go wide, but Pun wants to be there as this big Nah. BA trying to hold on. D-Ray on the wrong side of the wall. No, it's just too much. Powder's able to clean it up, and this is the first signs of life we're seeing from CFO, but no real objective on the board, so the play, yes, secures a little bit of that gold back, but it's really for naught.
Yeah, they actually used their Rift Herald as well. They wanted to use it as a Battle Herald. So yes, 2 kills. It's great. It's shutdowns, but do lose a little bit in exchange. And we'll go to the replay in a little bit because this fight could have gone maybe 4 or 5 kills for Team Secret Whales if one thing had gone differently, but it didn't. So it's a good fight back for CFO. But let's have a look at this because it's a little bit of a kerfuffle. Doggo gets chunked out, but there's no follow-up damage. But look at D-Ray here. He hits that charm, uses the last dash, but doesn't get the damage onto Shadow, so doesn't have dashes anymore. He, that's only about 20 health, so if he does a tiny bit more, he has 2 more dashes, he can play the rest of this fight, and I think Team Secret Whales win it. So the fact that Shadow pressed his W at the right time and got a Sundered Sky proc probably saved the game for CFO.
Yeah, and again, Doggo's damage tells a tale that they're going to be coming into this game very, very soon. They have the double buffs secured. Now they're looking to get onto their 3rd item as they've got the static, they've got the Ginsus, so the attack damage and the speed is looking very, very good. It's all about clearing these waves because it is Eddie who is just going to be able to throw out as many bombs as they want. The bouncing bombs is going to be shoving out these waves too. You've got the Black Fiber now. Doggo could be caught. Unstoppable Force does go in. Cease and assist is good. He's still trying to hold on, but Doggo's going forward, but he cannot hold on. Eddie did not take any damage in that entire fight, and Rest has to flash away, but look at the other side. Pun being caught out. Pout and Shadow. Nice Nah comes in, but a great satchel bounce is good. Pun does go mega, but because of that, he's out of range. Histo wants to try and take Rest out. There's no flash. There's no unstoppable force, and let's see if they can take it forward as BA going very aggressively forward, wants to make more happen. They are walking away. Histo in the wings, looking for it. Has to be careful. D-Ray now jumping in. Spirit Rush is used. Kino on the wrong side, trying to teeter. Great charm goes off to the side as well, but no, BA locks it down. They're going forward a little bit more, but it's not going to be enough damage as it is Secret Whales returning fire, and the Baron is up.
Baron is up. I don't know if we can take it here. I think the health bars are not in the greatest place. Doggo and Shadow on the map, and the big thing there is I think Doggo played the first half of that fight so well, but never cashed in the Ren damage. So they don't get on top. It's just a continued gold lead for Team Secret Whales. They answer back that earlier play, and now I think the teams have to start looking at Dragon, and I don't think we're going to be at item parity for it, but we'll come back to that as we have a look at the replay. Again, it's Team Secret Whales not using too much of their own tempo, just kind of catching Doggo too far forward. It's a great response from CFO. Doggo does do a lot of damage in this fight, but never presses Rend. So his toe there's about 400 damage that his toe never takes. Another 400 damage on his toe means you probably can't chase this. You probably have to sacrifice Pun there. And you definitely can't chase down. We see at the end, there's just no way out. Histo plays it really smart, just finds the cut-off angle to guarantee they go in. Kino actually plays it really well with a handshake, but back in live, we do have another scuffle.
Yeah, Rest just used the Unstoppable Force too. Shadow Cataclysms forward. Eddie is caught, but that's a big Spirit Rush, and D-Ray has the damage, gets another charge onto that too. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to go out just to try and clear out some of the wave, but there was actually a solo bolo in this top side. Absolutely huge from Histo, able to lock out Pout, which alleviates all of this pressure, and the Dragon being up in 10 seconds, well, the teams can choose which one they want to go for.
And they're going to go for Baron. Histo feeling pretty good after solo killing the enemy mid laner. Hopefully we do get a replay of that one in just a little bit as, yeah, Dragon will be taken. There's a teleport coming in. CFO think they have to fight this.
But it's out on Vision too, so maybe they can look for something. Rest does not have the
Eddie
Unstoppable Force. We have to be careful. Yeah, Eddie dangerously low. Could be looking for the flash, but there's nothing up and available. A TP in the back. The flank is going to be huge. D-Ray has spotted it out. If they can secure the Baron, it is going to lock it down. Let's see if there's going to be enough. The charm did hit. Eddie needs to survive. It's all about getting out with your life, and they committed so much there from CFO, but the Baron was secured.
Baron secured. CFO will be able to drift through, get mid lane. They should get first position on Dragon. But let's have a look at this one, because Pout just gets styled on. Histo, I mean, he is very far ahead. He kind of just beats him up.
Yeah, like there's not really much you can sort of do. Like, Histo didn't take any damage. It just sort of felt like he was free hitting him for a little bit, and then we saw this fight in the mid lane, just throwing out what they can. We're back in live once again. Kino just getting blasted once more. D-Ray locks it out, and it's just too much damage. Histo locked out Doggo. They can look at this tower. The satchel should be available, but there's nothing you can do. D-Ray, after months that we've been waiting for him to really come online, is showing true form. They've been putting in these hours, 5-2 and 5. Yes, you'll take a tier 1 up here for Rest on CFO, but at the same time, they're losing a tier 2 in their mid lane. They lost a tier 2 in their bot lane, and a tier 3 is being looked at with this Baron buff Carrix. Shambles indeed.
They're falling apart as Pout is going to try and make something happen. Pun has no Nama.
Got to be careful. Spirit Rush is good. Now D-Ray getting caught once more. Great Unstoppable Force, and a little bit of an overextension there for Team Secret Whales. That was capitalized on well by CFO.
Yeah, they do a good job. I think Team Secret Whales probably could only push one lane there. They went for 2, but we didn't see this as we were in the replay. So CFO secure that Dragon. Where is he engaged? It was D-Ray over the wall, the charm not landing, but Histo and BA linking up perfectly, just diving the backside, no counterplay available.
Oh, yeah, and that's just, everything was layered so perfectly there. It's just that overstep that might have been a little bit too much for them. This is exactly where we saw Pout really utilizing that Spirit Rush to full maximum effort, and you love to see it because the shutdown gold was just so good.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little bit of a gold injection at the end. It was also removing 2 Baron buffs, and important ones as well. Pun and D-Ray are 2 people that could be in the side lane with a Baron buff, making things even harder for that next 30 seconds or so before it would have timed out. They don't get to do that. So CFO, they're keeping themselves in this. It is not as disastrous as game 1, but it's still 7,000 gold.
What's really interesting is that CFO overloading this bot side, but can actually see that Histo said, we're making the call, we're going top, like we still have the Baron buff too, we got 10 seconds left on it, we could probably just pick up an easy tower here.
Yeah, it'll definitely get a lot of damage on it if CFO don't respond in time. They're going to try and trade with the bot lane inner, but they can't do it. They don't have Baron minions. Their minions fade away, but Team Secret Wales won't get theirs either. So in the end, it's just plating and tower damage.
And we can take a little bit of a pause here, 26 minutes into this game, so we'll have to see where it's going to go, but we can look at some items now. We're getting some completed items on the board as we're seeing some big gold leads too. Seeing if Doggo's going to get caught out straight on vision, sees assist, big bomb lands, Eddie getting on a killing spree too, Histo locking out even more. There's nothing else they can really do, they're just getting absolutely charged out. A final auto from Pun, the boomerang flies, and our rest is all but gone. Mountains turn to rubble here as the charm does go through. Rest trying to fight Histo, but we know punching rocks can destroy a mountain. And now the inhib in this mid lane is going to go over 19 kills to 6 here. Team Secret Wales 8.6k gold up as well. Going golden here. Pout has to be super careful, but the towers are just being shredded as well. They have to wait for this next wave. They have about 10 seconds before Shadow. I think they're just looking potentially at the dragon instead.
Yeah, we're going to back off. We don't want to take a risk and try and fight under Nexus Towers. I think that's a good decision from Team Secret Wales. If you lost a fight there, you would lose Dragon Soul. And I think you open the door for CFO. Let's keep that door slammed shut. We just get our reset, we come back out, establish vision, and I think it'll be a climactic fight at the Dragon. But let's have a look at how this one went, because it was just Doggo way too far forward, caught out. He does nothing in this fight. He's permanently CC'd until the bomb hits. Kino, I mean, he's trying to play on top of the Kalista. That is where you're meant to be as the Renata, but just gets no opportunity to do anything. I mean, again, Team Secret Wales just looks so much better.
They've just really, the damage definitely tells that they are looking better too. Because look, they're saying, oh, are you sure you want to go for that dragon, guys? Because we're just going to go take a lot of your base again. We can just end this one out. We have the gold. It's forcing the resets as they might not have the time. It's going to be very quick. As okay, this was all about just the bait, but still, Shadow stayed. Worth keeping an eye on.
He's not spotted as well. There is no way they have a read on that being where Shadow is. As he's still just floating around in this fog of war. He won't be spotted until he chooses to reveal himself.
Actually getting the TP play here as well from Silence.
That will tell them though, they'll see the orb.
Yeah, but so now they know that there's overloading on this bot side too. BA needs to be careful. Histo does have the GA up, so they can play a little bit more aggressive. They can look to go for something. They need to prioritize Shadow, who is stepping forward, trying to hit and keep the aggro going. BA, happy to walk up and face check that, but Pun now out on a ward, looking for the flank, is about to get a full Mega Gnar bar. The dragon is being low. Histo's jumping in, sees this on the back line. It's just too much damage, letting to get a little bit more, but the hostile takeover is good, but they pick up one. Doggo, double kill for Eddie, and he's just looking for even more. The triple kill from the AP carry, able to get it done here. And now Kino, the last man standing, cannot hold on. A clean ace yet again here for Secret Wales. They said you were close, but not close enough. And Team Secret Wales want to close this series out super clean. It is 2-0, and they are one game away from making the grand finals.
Pike, I'm a little bit in shock. Team Secret Wales, they've just been hustling a little bit. They've been playing pool with the wrong hand down at the locals, really baiting us into thinking they weren't on form, and here they are.
Look, this is one of those things, right? Maybe at the end of the day, when we were watching these players, was anyone actually watching what hands were playing with what? Were the Team Secret Wales in series past playing with their mouse on the left hand instead of the right? These are questions we need to start asking, because this is a completely different team to who we saw CFO defeat just last week. Secret Wales, they have got an answer for 10 questions that CFO's trying to put towards them.
10 questions, I think they've got answers for even more with how they've been playing. They've got the whole exam key on lock. Sorry, I can't be serious. He's got a sticker on his nose.
Well, do you know what that is, though? Like, it's not just a sticker.
I don't know.
Okay, so it's actually a pimple patch.
Ah.
But it's like a star.
Now I feel bad for calling attention to it.
It's meant to be fashionable. You should a little bit, but that's okay. We're not here to bully. We're just saying, look, you know what? It's good to look after yourself. Hygiene is important. Folks, it's very good to look after yourself, maintain your skin, moisturize. That's all I will say. But let's look at some replays here, Carrix, as we saw another dominant game yet again. And it really came off the bat. I feel like Histo, yes, was this big initiator, but wasn't really the carry this game. I think everyone on Team Secret Wales was just looking so good.
Yeah, 100%. This was Team Secret Wales firing on all cylinders. Good luck picking a player of the match if Team Secret Wales keeps this up in Game 3. I have no idea where I'm leaning.
It's always Histo.
I mean, Histo's a good shout, but I think D-Ray, this might be the best series I've ever seen him play.
Oh, I actually agree. And I was watching Twitch chat and someone said, is this D-Ray's best game, like best series ever? And I actually do agree with that highly. I think D-Ray has been looking really good. And can I just say, they're not playing Rise. They're banning the Rise, so D-Ray can't play it and get behind. So get them onto these hyper mobility champions like the Ari, get them the Orianna where they can move around and do a lot of damage. They've been looking so much more successful, and I really love it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in a few of these early replays that maybe CFO do get a little bit done. This was a fight that is won by about 10 HP. If that reset comes in for D-Ray, he goes crazy, but it doesn't. So CFO, this was a win for them. But I know I sound a bit like a broken record. I've been saying it, but I really want to hammer it home. I think my problem with CFO is they're not playing together. Doggo was the obvious target in these fights. You saw in the last fight, which I'm sure we'll see in a replay in a little bit. In the last fight, Histo was nowhere near the dragon, just on this unbelievably long flank, because he just knows if I'm allowed to click R on Doggo, we win the fight. And he was constantly allowed to. It's not Doggo's fault, really. There's a few times he could have positioned better, but in that last fight, he's in the middle of his team, and they still get to him. It just feels like CFO didn't know where their bread was buttered.
Yeah, look, and it's hard if you don't even know where the knife is at this point. Like, the butter's in the fridge, the knife is somewhere in the dishwasher, because they don't even know where to be looking. As you can see, such unique plays as they were trying to get some ending here, but weren't able to get too much. But Team Secret Wales just looking so dominant yet again, Carrix. We need to just take a second. We need to take a breath, because when we see a team like this dominate too hard, we need to compose. We need to come back to the story and say, CFO, they're going to take the next 2 games. They're going to do more. So we're going to go to a short break. Stay tuned. Secret Wales, they are on the cusp of glory, but CFO, they need to pull it back if they want to stay here. We'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned.
This might take a while.
Make haste.
There we go. Don't let this be you. Here are the top 5 laning tips for winning both macro and micro in League Classic. Get ready for trades to have way higher stakes throughout the early and mid game. In Classic, abilities deal tons of damage, but their costs and cooldowns are higher to match, so every action has the potential to completely shift the lane advantage. For many champions, you'll want to consider buying early mana regen items. Grab a Chalice of Harmony, stock up on mana potions, or pick up a Doran's Ring or 3. Speaking of Doran's items, they may be the default start for modern League players, but they're significantly weaker here in Classic. Try starting with boots and some potions instead to keep up with those early trades in lane. It also takes much longer to get back to lane, so plan accordingly. Forcing an opponent to recall will give you the space you need to set up your minion wave, or put in some good work in the tower as your opponent loses out on CS. Pressing those early advantages is also easier because turrets are way easier to kill in Classic. Taking one down will happen early and often, and can quickly snowball into more gold, more ganks, and more pressure on the enemy team. And speaking of pressure, don't forget to pick up some extra wards for vision, which you can buy separately from trinkets.
I knew you would do that.
After all, nothing ruins a good laning phase faster than a surprise 2v1. So light up those bushes and stay safe out there, summoners. Don't say we didn't warn you.
恭喜 Caps 入选了名人堂。
Chúc mừng Cap đã được vào Hall of Flame.
Chúc mừng Cap đã vào Hall of Fame của Liên minh huyền thoại.
이번에 G2 캡스 선수가 명예전당에 헌정됐다는 소식을 들었는데 되게 많이 축하드리고요. 어떻게 보면 G2의 심장이라고 생각을 하는데 꾸준히 좋은 모습을 보여주는 게 정말 대단하고 생각하고 멋있다고 생각하는 것 같습니다. 명예전당 정말 축하드립니다.
キャップス選手が他のプレイヤーと違う分言うと本番の大舞台でものすごく強いっていうのがあるんじゃないかなと思いますね。やっぱり彼ほどの逆境に強いプレイヤーっていうのはなかなかいないんじゃないかなと思います。キャップス選手、改めてオールオブレジェンドおめでとうございます。
我最欣赏 Caps 的点就是永不放弃吧，然后每一年都在为自己的未来打拼。
因为我之前在欧洲也打过一段时间吧，然后那时候也跟他做过对手，所以我觉得他很努力，然后我觉得他这名人堂记得没毛病。好，
Mình xin chúc mừng Cap đã ghi danh vào đại sảnh huyền thoại.
恭喜 Caps 入选名人堂。
캡스 선수 명예전당에 입성하신 것을 정말 축하드립니다.
恭喜 Caps 入选英雄联盟名人堂。
我认为新生代选手，尤其是 LEC 赛区的，应该都会算是把它当成重物的标榜，有点像是 Faker 的感觉了。恭喜 Caps 入选名人堂，又达成了一个里程碑。
Mình xin chúc mừng Cap đã bước vào đại sảnh danh vọng nhé.
Here we go, Dustin. Inside the 1v1, Inside comes out on top. If they have to. Here comes the hero's entrance. They have the...
Ahoy and welcome back. Team Secret Wales looking to close this night out. They've got a dinner reservation. Their partners are waiting and they said, guys, we have to make the res because they are looking to clean up here. They're already 2-0 after just 2 matches. Carrick, it's such a tall order for CFO right now.
Yeah, I mean, CFO, you've got to take a game. It's so demoralizing if you don't take a game. This is a matchup that we're anticipating seeing again in the finals. Just for mentality, you've got to take one.
Look, and that's it, right? Like we sort of said, they versed each other last week, and then at the same time, they're coming in now and they're looking completely different. They've flipped this narrative, flipped the script, and if we want to see CFO walk to the finals, right now, this is a CFO that I think would really struggle into the Vikings at this point too, and I think a lot of players and a lot of viewers out there would agree that CFO have been looking so good that if they do go to that lower bracket finals, that they probably would win out and go still. So I'm now rethinking a lot of what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. But I think what this comes down to, it's not about CFO or even Vikings. It's just Secret Wales just saying, guys, now's the time to actually play properly. Like, what have we been doing? We're in our own heads. We know we're the best team. Let's play like it.
Yeah, I do think as well, Team Secret Wales, they need to just buckle down. Yes, you're 2-0 up. You've had two very clean, dominant games so far, but don't think that the third is going to be as easy. CFO are a team. We know how good they can be. You can't take your foot off the gas. You don't want to give them a game. You want to close this one out as a dominant 3-0.
Yeah, like this is also a narrative that Team Secret Wales would like to have going into Worlds too, right? Like they've got their spot, it's already secured. So to be able to say, yeah, the one series we lost was against a team that, beat us in the 5th and final game. Just because we maybe had a couple rough drafts and trying some unique things. Look, it's not the end of the world, because look at every other time we've versed them in the history of this year, and we have full dominance. That is what we'd like to be saying as we go forward, and this is the final game for Secret Wales to close out, to keep that narrative true. But if we flip that story, flip it on its head, CFO, they want to come back and prove that a reverse sweep is 100% possible to dethrone the king. Gods need to bleed in every region. We've seen it in the LCK, we've seen it in the LPL, we've seen it in the LCK, we've seen it in the LEC. We need to see something in the we need to see it in the LCP, baby.
That we do. Can gods bleed? Can Wales be hunted? As the bans are changing up. Kiana and Lucian have joined the ban list, which means that a few more might be free.
Yeah, well, potentially Rise being left open here too, but we'll have to see what that's going to look like. But yeah, the Lucian ban is definitely interesting. They don't want to give that over to Doggo at least early, because now that the champion pools for 80 carries are starting to dwindle, makes a lot of sense to go for these really strong picks. As Camille being the final one here for Team Secret Wales, I like this.
Yeah, I like the Camille ban. Don't let Keno have that one. Don't let him have a really powerful roaming pick. Of course, a little bit less powerful on this patch, but still good nonetheless. The question here is, Rise and Ezreal are both open. CFO will have first pick. No, actually, they'll have second pick. I'm lying. They've actually gotten the second pick this time. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. With Locke being banned out too, I do like this. I do think it needs to be perma-banned at the moment, especially into D-Ray, who's actually having a phenomenal day, who has been looking so good. Do not give this man a hyper carry, and that's why they've targeted 2 champions to it. Alawi. No.
There's no way. It's not a first pick. I'd love to see it picked up, but it's not going to be a first pick for sure. I think Pun is just showing off maybe what he's been preparing a little bit. I think Rise does make sense. D-Ray, as much as we sometimes criticize him on the pick, he has been going towards it a lot.
It's so true, like, and that's fine. He has been doing a lot more work with it, and I think that's great. We're giving Doggo his Ezreal, though, which is not great, considering you can also give Keno a priority pick here in the bot lane as well. So Doggo could be paired up with the Ezreal, maybe a Karma, which is up and available. You could look for a roaming support like a Pyke too, where you could get them out onto the map and let Doggo just do their own thing bot side. The Ezreal was banned out before, so maybe Secret Wales have an answer.
Maybe, but Ezreal Karma is a hell of a lane to give Doggo and Keno. Need to see something pretty impressive out of that. I'd love to see the Karthus give a nod to Levi, but that's one way to do it, is a Caitlyn lane. And just say, you want to play aggressive? We'll play aggressive, mate.
Yeah, and Eddie's been looking so good. Maybe they lock in the Lux here too, where they just outrange them so hard and there's nothing you can really do into it. But maybe looking, ooh, an Elise. Oh, Elise locked in.
That's Elise support, I think. It's a flex. It can still go jungle, but that's going to be Elise support. I like this a lot. It's a pseudo Lux. You fight at level 1 because you have two abilities, to everyone else only having one. You can set up Caitlyn traps in the same way. The cocoon is not as flexible as the light binding, but is still very powerful. You can still put the trap under them. And against something like Ezreal and Karma, if you get engaged on, if Karma puts the W on you, you just jump up with the repel and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Even if you get hit with the orbs, Scatter of the Weak too, you have that ability to just get out of dodge. Like you just go up and there's nothing they can do. And it's going to be really high impact damage too. Potentially like a Storm Surge being that first item means you can blow them up. You can get through a lot of that shielding too. So I'm excited to see this Elise unleashed. Like this is where Secret Wales have said, all right, like we're feeling good. We've got them on the ropes. Now let's send some dangerous things at them. But who would have thought that Elise was going to be sort of like this early game pick here for Secret Wales? Because I did not call that.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of wild. I certainly wouldn't have guessed it. Almost think you didn't need to pick it there. It was unlikely to get banned out, but I like it regardless. I think it does introduce a lot of doubt into CFO because there's no way they saw it coming.
No, I don't think anyone here in the viewership saw an Elise coming, potentially for support or even a jungler too, because right now we're starting to see those bans, Xin and Olaf being taken off the board, Trundle being another answer for the side of Secret Wales. We'll have to see if they're going to prioritize the top side or if the jungle, and a Pantheon ban is really nice. It targets so many lanes.
Yeah, I like it a lot as the jungle picks are actually very restricted. Skarner, I'd like that a lot. Actually, you don't really need to bring more damage, but they just go the Nocturne. Okay, Nocturne, you can see he's got 70.8% presence and 0 wins so far.
Yep, I think it's a hard tale when you have so much paranoia. Maybe that is really the answer. You pick the Nocturne and you get the paranoia, not vice versa. With the Kha'Zix being hovered, I feel like the Wukong is a really strong answer here. I think it's going to be very, very smart into this gameplay. We need a tank. A strong tank for both sides. If you go Graves, I'm going to lose it. Oh my lord, they've got two champions not picked at all. Carrick's Graves being locked in here for his toe. If you go Vayne, I'm going to scream.
There's no way. You cannot go a 0 melee draft.
Garen, I prefer. I kind of like the Garen here. It's like, how do you
prefer it, but it's blind.
Oh my god, Cho'Gath?
I mean, how do you kill Cho'Gath?
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, this is...
Wales.
This is the craziest draft. If this isn't going to bode the similar game we saw last week where CFO picked his fun chips and then Secret Wales threw out the most random nonsense and it just got counter-picked into oblivion. What's the counter to Cho'Gath?
Good question.
Vayne?
In this composition, I mean, I don't know if you want to pick Vayne because it means that when when Shadow goes in, he has to go in alone. I think if you were just trying to counter-pick the Cho'Gath, I think Vayne actually was a really good shout. But I think you go the Ambassador, you should have a very strong lane, and then you can follow up on Shadow's paranoias with a public execution. But, like, I don't remember the last time I watched Graves. I know what he does, but it's been a while.
I don't know. I don't know. Do we have to find out. We've got to look into this as well. When was the last time Graves played in at least the LCP? Because right now, I'm struggling to see it. I think it is such a... But what's it got to really do in this game? Like, you have to be in the right position at the right time. You're up against a Nocturne who's going to have so much more speed, especially being able to rotate around the map with your semi-global ult. Like, I just don't see how it's going to work in this game.
It's gonna struggle. I mean, it needs to be very aggressive early. I think he can invade the Nocturne, right? Should win early on, at least at level 3 if he's got that grit stacked up. I think it's pretty hard for Nocturne to play around it.
Look, definitely is. We'll have to see. You do have a lot of that mobility too. But regardless, okay, so what I'm looking at right now so far, Graves has been played 19 times in pro play. I believe that's this year. Yep, that is the 19 games. This is the 20th
the LPL's
game.
Been playing him.
Yeah, has it been doing good though is the big question though. That's the other side of this, and we can see the Elise as well has been played quite a bit more. I'm just going to double check my facts on that one before I get back to everyone, so stay tuned as we do some fact searching on these unique picks.
Elite support was a thing earlier in the year, and a carrier played a fair bit of it, and then people sort of piggybacked off of him. Elite support is not bad. It's fallen out of meta. It actually just got nerfed out of the role. Evidently, Team Secret Whales think it's still playable there. It does a lot of good things. As I said, when you fight at level 1, you have 2 abilities because you can go into spider form and use that second Q. You also do still have the CC. If the Karma and the Ezreal will try and run you down, they can't really do it into an Elise because of Repel, because of how easy the Cocoon is to land. Like that. Yeah, you can see, just Cocoon. Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's the Ignite going forward. Heal being burnt too. There's Doggo having to play a little bit further back. Kino sitting on wards as well. Throwing out these Qs, so trying to get these inner flames to do as much damage as possible early to force them out, but is still so much range with this Caitlyn as well. And there's the level 2 power spike for both these lanes. Doggo wanting to go forward. It's going to be enough.
And so one of the interesting things as well is with Graves. Graves did get buffed on this patch. He kind of seemed to benefit from a system-wide change that maybe wasn't aimed at him. Because they buffed.
Oh my god!
Hang on, a lot of damage.
What is going on? That's the damage. You get level 2, you put the trap underneath the Cocoon, and there's nowhere to go.
My oh my! But just to finish what I was saying, there was a system-wide change where all of the marksmen had their resistances buffed because they wanted to make it so that they could survive the mages in the bot lane, but Graves got it too. They went, well, Graves is a marksman, which is true, but he's not a bot lane marksman, so he actually got his resistances buffed as well. So maybe that's why he's crept back in here. I don't think that's necessarily the whole story. Graves is a champion that's actually constantly very good in solo queue and has been for a while, but doesn't often make the leap to pro play.
Yep, fair enough. Look, makes a lot of sense, but we'll have to see. As Pun's taking a bit of a beating in this top side character, it is going to be a little bit of a rougher lane for the Cho'Gath into the Ambessa. But remember, it's all about this scaling, right? You're just trying to hold the line as long as you can. We're seeing some good invades from Shadow, maybe just looking to get some deep vision, but there's nothing up on this bot side too. So, okay, Histo's actually looking for the wraparound. Is going to find them out on this ward, but Histo's got a lot of health. Pun is low. See if the healing's going to be good as there's the silence, the knock up, and it's just too much damage for them. And they're going to give it straight over to Histo. He's going to be able to carry, and a beautiful play there.
Yeah, and I mean, we see that they tried to go in on BA, just jumps up into the air. The W from Kino doesn't do anything, and Team Secret Whales at 3 minutes have a 1,500 gold lead. They've gone for 2 plays and they've got 2 kills.
Oh, that's pretty hard. That's it's pretty rough here, Carrick's. Like, for such a unique sort of comp that we were like, not questioning. We never questioned the Elise. We never questioned the Graves. We were just confused by it. We haven't seen it in the LCP's first time, so we're learning along with the viewers. But I like that it's risen in priority. I love your point that with the ADs being buffed, that it has become a bit more of a pick. And I love that LPL's been sort of like the highlighter of that, like you said. I'm curious to see how it's going to perform, but with a kill already on it, a Dirk picked up, which means a little bit of that extra lethality damage is going to be so good. Tell me more about like the itemization we might see from this Graves. Do you know much about it?
I'll be real, I don't know a huge amount of what Graves are building at the moment. It's hard damage though. It's just, you want to be doing as much as you can. Where I think it's interesting is, you know, if you get towards like a Hubris, if that's where we go first, as I'm not sure if I blacked out.
No, you're good. I think it's a bit of a weird one. It actually comes, you're
Sorry.
here. You're all right.
I am here.
Welcome back.
Cool. No worries. Everything froze for a second there for me. Not just on the stream, it was everything. But yeah, if Graves can get, if he goes super aggressive, he can go like a Hubris. I think maybe we'll just go the Collector first. if we're his toe, you just deal a huge amount of damage. But the point I wanted to get to is when you are on that 1, maybe 2 item power spike, this is not a jungler that plays to enable his teammates like something like Vi from last game. This is now everyone on Team Secret Wales has to enable his toe, but there's a fight brewing.
Yeah, BA did get a little cocoon off, and now it's just being
Shadow's
chased out. Exhaust goes forward. Eddie able to get that final shot on. The exhaust was used, and with a dragon up, Kino starting that off, but looks like they're not really going to start this one off, but securing the kill yet again. It's almost a 2k gold lead at 6 minutes.
I think Shadow is a little bit off, as I don't think there was any room for him to be making that play, as BA does a good job buying space. Kino has to, pay the health tax just to get into the lane, as Eddie is just able to outbox him. But I understand. You go in and you harass BA a little bit, but you don't get the spell shield on the cocoon, and Doggo can't really help you. One of the things about Ezreal into Elise is when she's in spider form, it's actually just really annoying to hit mystic shots because she just has little spiderlings everywhere and they soak them. It's kind of like Nefiri. You just can't hit her with skill shots. It's annoying. He can't add his damage there. And I just think Shadow just didn't respect Team Secret Wales. And here we go again. Doggo is in trouble once more.
Yeah, another cocoon hits. The traps go forward. Flash from Kino is going to get them out. But that is a lot of summoners used as 2 being burnt. The heal and the flash from Kino. It's a tall order to go into. BH has just read this so well. They gave Doggo the Ezreal and said, we're happy for you to have this guy. It's all good. We've got an answer for it. And it's nice to see that Secret Wales are getting creative with these drafts. Level 6 on Shadow means we could be looking for a fight. Public execution does miss, but the paranoia is still being used straight into the bush, trying to get off Flash into the bush. Means they're going to be able to get a little bit more movement into it, but Pan has to be careful. Silence knock-up is good. Trying to hold on, but Shadow's going to get out, and Rest picks up their first kill of the game.
Okay, there we go. A firing back there from CFO. They do put a shot across the bow, but BA sneaking in.
Oh, wait, what is that? Trying to get the flash ace and the whole shot land. It's not going to be enough damage, but look at his collateral damage lands from across the wall.
The orbital cannon comes out from his toe, and he says thank you very much as he gets his second kill of the game.
Oh, that was just magical gameplay if ever I've seen it. It's one of those abilities that they never actually saw it coming, but then when you realize that you've died to it, you're like, that was really unfortunate. That's not what I thought was going to be happening. You're like, yeah, I'm out. I've survived. And then you're dead. And you're like, no, well, bummer.
Yep. Oh, damn. Not sure what I could have done, but unfortunate. As BA, once again, going for a walk.
Yeah, Flash Cocoon Predict was beautiful. What was that?
Well, I said it was going to be really hard to pick a player in the match. I think it just got a whole lot easier. BA's on fire, Pike.
He's looking so good. He's got these unique picks. He's making them work. The damage is great. Eddie has to be careful here. The barrage went wide. Doggo looking for something, but still, we need to see a replay of BA there. That was actually perfect.
Yeah, exactly. This Rune Prison doesn't take the bait. Flash, predict. Pike. And that's the kind of play. You look so silly if it doesn't work. You've got to have guts to go for it, and BA just knows.
Oh, man. It's actually gorgeous. This is almost a new Secret Wales. I don't think we've seen them really all play this cleanly. Like, that is the craziest part here. Everyone is on fire tonight. It's not just his turn. And I think you called it. BA is looking so good. If Secret Wales win out this match, I'm going to give it to BA too, because they've really held on. And now Realm Warp's going to be charged up. Does get the scatter. It's not going to be enough. They lock down D-Ray, but they can't hold on, and Shadow picking up their first kill of the game too.
Yeah, D-Ray just caught a little bit far forward there, the Realm Warp, not able to save him when he gets feared up by the Nocturne. So good fight back, Shadow. He's pressed his ult twice. He's been involved in 2 kills, so certainly can't complain about that.
For sure. Definitely don't want to. Histo still with a slight lead though, however, as they do have actually gotten the Umbral Glaive, funnily enough. So it's just about securing this vision, but it also gives a lot of damage too. So I do like this. Didn't go for that collector like you suggested, but you know what? That's not the end of the world. It's still going to be like this lethality Graves, most likely. An item that they probably will be looking towards is now the Black Cleaver.
Yeah, I think Black Cleaver does make a lot of sense. Obviously, enables your own damage, helps Eddie deal more. You do just stack it up across the whole team as well, just because of kind of how Graves works. I do think you're right. I was sort of maybe leading towards into a more solo queue style build with Hubris Collector, that kind of thing, where you really have to put the whole world on your shoulders. But no, Histo knows he's got pretty good shipmates for this Storm.
Yeah, so true. I think one thing that looking at the stats here that I've sort of just pulled up, like going the Umbral Grave gets you there's about a 53% win rate on it so far, but the Black Cleaver, and that's the reason I brought it up, is sitting comfortably at about 68% win rate. Like if you have that item, you are doing so much. So it's worth it at this point. Remember, that's only 19 games though, Carrick, so it's not the biggest stat of it all, but I think if this champion rises in priority, I'm sure we'll see that coming up with the goods. But Smokescreen heading out, as Kino was trying to get a little bit of that vision. This is the Umbral Glaive working in its full effect. You just get to clear these wards out so incredibly well, and tracking Histo is going to be the mission.
There is actually also something to be said about Umbral Glaive. It actually just makes Graves, it cuts his time to clear wards by a lot. I know that sounds really silly, but wards have 3 health. Graves has 2 bullets. With Umbral Glaive, you only need 2. So actually really, really helpful. It's something I just hadn't really thought of. So I think in pro play, probably is just the first item of choice.
Yeah. Well, makes so much sense, right? Like, it's a nice way to go. Kino as well. Now about to face off BA, who's finished off that proto belt. So nice to have that little bit of extra mobility, especially for a mage too. So you're going to be able to get that extra little jump forward if you do land the cocoon, a little bit more of empowered damage, or a get out of jail free card in some cases. So we'll have to see what that is going to look like. Cocoon did just go wide, but clearing out a little bit more. But waiting for this blast cone, they might be sending it a little bit further. BA playing it slow.
Yeah, just playing slow for now. They don't want to keep up that early pace. They don't need to. They've just got leads where it matters. Eddie is 1.3k gold ahead before popping his cull. He's going to jump even further. Pun is just saying, yeah, okay, Rest, I see all those dashes. You're doing cool stuff. I'm playing Cho'Gath.
Yeah, it's like, I don't mind any of that. So we'll have to wait and see how many stacks we're going to get on this Cho'Gath by the end of the game too. Definitely want to be able to see that stat. But when you are a big toy like you are for this Cho'Gath, anything's possible, in my opinion. But items across the board now, Carricks. Let's take a little bit of a health check as Dragon is going to be up in 10 seconds. We do have the Rod of Ages starting to stack for D-Ray. Collector now picked up for Eddie. It's looking quite good, but we got the Hexplate being picked up for Shadow's Nocturne. Do you like that?
I do like Hexplate. I do think it enables you to play the role that I think Nocturne needs to play, where you're just this pseudo-tanky bruiser on the front line, able to go in with the paranoia over and over again, as don't want to take that free damage. Importantly, around this dragon fight, Doggo did get his Triforce. He got it. He managed to get the reset just as the dragon spawned, as BA.
Great spell shield. Able to cancel it out. Kino doing a lot as the barrage goes forward. So does the paranoia, trying to catch them out. Does go onto 1. It's going to be enough. Goes straight on up. Here's able to clean up 2. It's a 1-for-1 trade as Kino's dashing forward. Shut down his big double TPs now being burnt. Let's see if they can hold on to the damage. Ace in the hole is going to be used. It's going to be blocked by Doggo. But here's D-Ray trying to hold on. Public Execution is onto the back line. He's trying to hold that line. But there's just 4 members strong. The Realm Warp is used into the Dragon Pit. Look at Pun. It's a raid boss of a toy charging at you. Pout has to run away, and Histo, surviving on a slither of health, is healing back up, and they're going to be able to look at this Ocean Drag.
They'll get the Ocean Drag. It won't be a stack for Pun. How unfortunate. Doesn't have his feast ready. But Team Secret Whales, they're getting everything early. They got the grubs. They've got the first 2 dragons. As Pun, he's still here. No one can kill him.
Yeah, like they're all so low. Pout can't do anything. Right now, Doggo's just having to back, like they're needing to force this. And look, even BA's just very happy. A spider in the bush. That is what every Australian is scared of, if I'm being perfectly honest. But let's watch this replay back.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the damage that Histo does, just forcing Pout to go back. But look at the smoke screen that's going to come out here. Shadow jumps forward. Up into the air we go. The damage is in. And when the follow-up is attempting to come in, that smoke screen, how do you play? You can't walk in. CFO want to help their divers, but the smoke screen is just completely blocking them because they don't have any vision if they step forward.
Oh, Pun failed the flash, though. I didn't even see that before, but you know what? Not the end of the world. You know what? I love this comment of the smoke screen characters, and I want to talk about it a little bit more. What happens when the paranoia drops and you still can't see in the darkness? Because that's exactly what it is. The darkness is there for Nocturne to be able to see more, but then you're covering it up with smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Who would win, the embodiment of nightmares or one mafia boy? Apparently, it is, in fact, the guy with a shotgun. And to be fair, a guy with a shotgun wins a lot of fights.
Hey, I'm walking here, and that's all Histo's doing right now. Every time he's walking out on the map, he's like, do not come near me. This is my map, and I'm the king of New York, but we're actually in Taiwan, so it's not too bad at the end of the day. But let's get another health check again across the map. Rift Herald instantly spawned in this mid lane. They want to try and crack this open as best they can, looking to take it for a ride. Sending it in, Histo took a bit of damage. They're going to be able to get a charge to the paranoia into the backside. Kino is trying to look at a little bit more straight on. They did pick up his toe. It's a nice pick, and now public execution onto Pun. Tanky boy, but 5 members strong, sending everything they have to pick them up, and a great return fire here for CFO.
Huge swing there. Team Secret Whales perhaps getting a little bit too big for their boots, thinking they didn't need to have the whole team there. Didn't recognize that CFO were well within range to collapse. That closes the gold lead to only about 1,000 gold. That is more than playable.
Look, I was really hoping you say getting too big for their toy box, but you just missed out on that one, Cax. I was like, oh, it was waiting there to be used. But let's watch the replay back because, yeah, Rift Herald was good. They didn't take the tower, though. That, I think, was the big difference here. If they probably took that, it would have changed the fight a little bit more.
Yeah, I do agree. Potentially could have used the Herald as another escape. But no, we see it. And I mean, it's a little bit, you know, as CFO collapsed, someone yelled, Andy's coming, and all the toys just dropped to the floor.
And Doggo getting very emotive again in these games. We love to see it. They do always show up with the good times, and especially on one of their favorite champions in the game. They do a good job as, again, Paranoia used once more. Here's Histo getting caught. Collateral damage, has to go forward, trying to hold the line just as much as possible. Shadow. It's a double kill, and Shadow gets out alive.
Yeah, Shadow gets out. He just gets those 2 kills, are linking up with Doggo, the Realm Warp, for D-Ray to escape. Team Secret Whales have lost the lead, and we were talking about Graves itemization. We thought we'd go towards the Black Cleaver. It's Sundered Sky.
Let me go check my little encyclopedia. Okay, well, look, to be fair, Sundered Sky actually sits at about a 63% win rate. Okay, so maybe it's about a little bit of extra healing, a little bit of brawling, but at this point, Histo's just dying. There's no brawling going on. So maybe a Black Cleaver could have been nice, or even an Immortal Shield Bow.
Yeah, I think that... I don't know if he's dying due to the itemization. It was worth checking in, of course. I was curious about what the encyclopedia said. But it's more just we're not playing as a team as much. If a Nocturne gets to dive onto the Graves and there isn't peel ready, he is going to shoot it, going to take him down. Graves will deal a lot of damage back, but you do need a little bit more just to swing that in his favor.
There is a big thing you have to be worried about when you are playing with guns, chat. The big thing is you can shoot yourself in the foot. Now, Histo's only been hit by collateral damage, pun intended, but that's actually the top laner. Oh, double puns. We're on fire tonight, Carrix. But still, you got to be careful. Histo playing a very volatile champion. If you make one false move, that is what Shadow is doing, and they're capitalizing really well.
Team Secret Whales, they're trading their top lane tower for positioning on Dragon. BA dodging that true shot barrage, really important. He can still participate in this fight now as in comes Rest. The teleport is coming. Pun's taking half his health.
Yeah, he's low, and look, straight onto the backside, but the public execution's not going to hit, and Pun is just gone. Pound able to get him with everything. The unleashed power is good. Shadow comes in with a followed-up paranoia, and it is CFO starting to clean up this fight once again. His toe is low, doing no damage to anyone. The double kill is good. D-Ray and BA all but holds the line as this tower is probably going to go down. Doggo gets the damage off, and they secure it, and a nice clean ace being picked up here for CFO.
I mean, this is turning into a stomp. This is becoming very one-sided very quickly. Team Secret Whales do not know how to construct their battle lines on this very strange composition. Pun is just solo at the front. And yes, Cho'Gath with 8 stacks. He's very tanky. He's not tanky enough to just have 5 people hitting him and think it's not going to matter.
Nah, so true, but okay, we've got a TP coming in. Maybe looking for a little bit of a back fight as Doggo and Rest are low. Spotted out on a ward means they're going to be able to find someone waiting in the wings. Doggo trying to get over the wall, has to flash there, in fact, so another summoner burnt. Now they're looking at Rest, turning their eyes onto it. Ace in the hole, going to go through just to get a little bit of damage. The shield is nice. I think Rest is just going to go down here. Enough members have joined the party. D-Ray linking up with them too. They have nothing up, and a great shutdown heading over to the side of D-Ray.
But it's traded for this mid lane tower. It's not the worst ever. They had to send 3. It took a long time to clean Rest up, so it's a good kill. But it just takes so long. Let's have a look at the replay here, because yeah, look how many people are just hitting Pun. He's caught completely overextended from the rest of his team. And as soon as he's gone, once there's no threat of the choker, there's nothing stopping Rest and Shadow in the backline. They can just hard dive. BA was split from the team. There was no... Oh. And BA, speaking of being split from the team, in the picture-in-picture, has just been killed. If Team Secret Whales don't get their battle lines constructed much better, this team fight is we're gonna get a little bit of a repeat.
Yeah, this is the replay of BA. Yeah, let's see how we got caught out. It's just trying to fight over some vision. Yeah, it has to be, honestly. Great scatter, hits them, locks it down. That's enough damage. I've seen it before. We'll probably see it again. And now we're looking for something else. Pun moving forward, but still not just tanky enough. There's enough damage for CFO. They're going to lock down Pun quite quickly, but it's Kino who picks up the kill. Let's see if there's going to be a little bit more as the paranoia is used. A lot of damage from Doggo. Oh my lord, he's going to secure it with the barrage. And CFO, they flicked the switch on. The lights have been turned off, but the lights are turned on their heads, and they're getting the damage off.
Exactly, and Rest wasn't even in that fight, and it's still 2 for 1 in the favor of CFO off the back of a massive scatter of the week from Pout. This Syndra, there's a reason it's been getting banned.
We need a second, Carrix. We need to just take a moment. This game was looking so good, but then CFO said we can look better, and Pun is just not tanky enough, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And that scatter the week where Histo just doesn't participate in this fight. If the Graves is allowed to shoot, he'll do a lot of damage, but he's just not being allowed to get into range. Doggo and Powder playing spacing perfectly.
Oh, it's just getting hard as we are over that 20-minute mark. We're at 23.5 minutes here, folks. It is going to be the Baron up on the board. Next Dragon in 2 minutes' time. We'll have to see where the priority is going to go as vision being cleared out towards this bot side. Items along the way are starting to round out even more. Stride Breaker here for Shadow as they've been picking up a lot more kills and a lot more gold. Still, we're looking at Rest, who's now come back into this game. Eclipse and Black Cleaver Carrix means they're going to start shredding through Pun even more. And even with the anti-heal for Pun getting a little bit of a bramble vest, BA just took 2 hits and is below half health.
Yeah, that is the downside of the elite support, is they are unbelievably squishy. It is only Repel that gives you longevity in a fight, and that doesn't help against poke that you sort of incidentally take. Team Secret Whales do manage to break open the mid lane. They open the map up, they force CFO off of the Baron, but it's still 4,000 gold in favor of the Oysters.
Yeah, 4 towers to 3 here, as it is just Secret Wales on a little bit of that back foot. 3.7k gold lead for CFO, so that's why the items are looking so good. And once Pout gets that Rabadon's death cap unlocked, it's going to be a very different tale. And Pout's already been looking so good in this game, but they're not wildly up. D-Ray is at that 3-item spike. They are looking very strong. 10 stacks of the Rod of Ages means that they're going to start hurting.
Yeah, exactly. D-Ray does have agency in this game. D-Ray could take over, but Pike, how much have we criticized D-Ray on Rise?
Oh, you know what? I'll take the grunt of that a lot. I have been criticizing D-Ray on Rise. I'll take that one. Mostly because I have high hopes for this player. They've been looking so good in the first 2 games. In this third game, I don't know, it's maybe not the greatest performance, but it is also a scaling champion. We're waiting for them to come online. 80 really hasn't found their foothold in the wall. Like, they're still trying to climb up and ring that bell, but they haven't really found it, as they've only got those 2 items on their way to the third, and now going straight on in. It's just getting caught out. The paranoia is just too good. Doggo able to lock Rise out of this game. D-Ray didn't have a chance.
Yeah, D-Ray had no hope, and that's just going to be Baron. You don't have your Rise. You cannot fight this. This is just going to be given up. Team Secret Wales, they'll take the consolation prize of the Hextech Drake, move up to Soul Point, but that's not a great trade by any means.
No, losing 1, losing the Baron, it's going to be able to inject a little bit more gold. The towers are still in CFO's favor. Let's see if the barrage actually steals this. It's not. Whew, we've seen it done before, but that's a TP play going to this bot side. Rest wants to take this fight, because look, Kino is here, but I think Rest sort of underestimated where they were as the public execution used, but did not find its mark. Great stutter step from Eddie, able to stop that scatter of the week, but now they're charging down mid. CFO want to extend this gold lead even further with the Baron. They pick up a tier 2 in mid, and now they're going to look to get that reset and get these items.
Yeah, but look at the damage that's being done to the map, and in an inner tower gone. 6,000 gold for CFO. The fight back could not be more on in this series, in this game. And I mean, look, we said it before. D-Ray has those 3 Rise items. He has the Actualizer. He does damage, but how do you protect him in these fights?
Pun needs to be big. That's how you do it. But unfortunately, you can just ignore the big, and with a paranoia, you can just get straight to the back line. Same with the Embessa, the public execution. Just go bon voyage and just skip right over every single frontliner, and then just start impacting the back line too. So I think this is where the CFO draft is starting to look really, really good as the game goes on. Pun's trying to be that wall, but you can just skip the wall.
Yeah, exactly. You can just jump on over as more damage raining in onto this tower. CFO are all playing around here. Very easy for Shadow to join any fight if Team Secret Wales pulled the trigger, but they won't. They'll actually try and collapse onto Shadow.
Yeah, who's got the GA, so even if they get that kill, they have to deal with the repercussions after that. But another tower being secured, only Pun down here as the rest of the team, Secret Wales, are going to walk back up. Avoiding the scatter of the week seems to be like the biggest threat right now, because once that lands, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, exactly. I think Pout has been fantastic this game, just setting up so much damage, so many kills. Histo can't find his way in onto Shadow. The siege continues.
The big thing here as well is Shadow's 2 levels up on Histo. He's just died 1 too many times, and he's fallen so far behind. This Graves pick that has been started to be seen internationally might not be an LCP speciality, unfortunately, as Pun almost at that level 16 means the Chomp is going to be very, very good, and it just needs to get those stacks online as the tankiness is here. There is the Paranoia just to get the darkness in. Looking to go straight onto Pun, who's holding on, but it's a lot of damage still. They have to be very careful as they are now retreating. That is a good scatter, but it's not going to be enough. They're trying to get something. BA wants to join. Nice reset there. They opened up the base.
Yeah, they opened the base. They don't get the inhibitor, but there's no need to overextend for it. You don't want to let Team Secret Wales back into this one. You have a massive lead here for CFO. Your composition is working well. Just play it safe and run this one out nice and clean.
Yep, 100%. 29 minutes into the game. Still sole point here with the Dragon up in just shy of 2 minutes, Carricks. That is where this next big fight will be, because it was CFO with that Baron making a really strong play, but now a TP onto D-Ray. He's caught out once again. Relmore pursues, sidesteps the public execution, and he gets out of dodge this time. Nice thumbs up to say, I pulled off the play, guys. We're looking better.
Well, I mean, we're recovering, Pike. We are recovering if we're Team Secret Wales. As part of the problem with Team Secret Wales having this fall off is unable to like really get up towards objectives. His pun is kind of locked at 8 stacks. He's been at 8 stacks for ages, and he can't get more from anywhere. He needs a big monster, or he needs a champion to munch on, but they're not finding any. Feed this man.
Yeah. It is definitely one of those drawbacks to the champion, but with a couple items on the board too, Merc Trade's secured for this trigger. That means a little bit of safety in magic resistance. Eddie's going to take a barrage to the head. It does do a bit of damage at this point. Look at Doggo's items. 4 secured means every time they hit you, it's going to be doing a lot of work. And we talk about most of the time, Ezreal's with 3 items hurt. You just chunked out Pun, who is the tank. So if you do not blow up this Ezreal, they will run away with the game.
And it's very hard to blow him up because that arcane shift just gets him out. It's Doggo kind of has to make a mistake.
Yeah, that's so true. It's really CFO with the game to lose here. 6.4k up still. Dragon is up in 15 seconds. That final barrage did not land, which is really nice to see as D-Ray is trying to take on Rest here. Did do a little bit of damage, but not enough. Have to see if we're going to be seeing a bit of movement. Maybe they just give this Dragon. Remember, it was sole point for Secret Wales, so maybe they're happy to give this one and just say, you know what, maybe we'll try and get somewhere else on the map, get a little bit of priority for ourselves.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Just make sure we can farm everything up, steal away a little bit of jungle from CFO. That 1 stack of Hextech Drake doesn't do a huge amount for them, as Doggo will just whip a barrage up, a little bit of a hopeful one, maybe interrupting a back. But D-Ray was responsible, went even further.
I love whipping out a barrage. It's always pretty good, hey? Just a little bit. I don't know why it's that sound effect, but you know what? I'm going to stick with it. Next time we see a barrage, guys, I'm going to make that sound effect. I think that was kind of cool. But we'll have to see. Baron now up 15 seconds. This is where another fight's going to be.
Exactly. Baron is going to be where I think CFO will want to make their stand, want to put their stamp on this game and get ready for a 4th. Team Secret Wales have just not been able to get anything done. Eddie has not gotten into this game to nearly... Look at the damage that Doggo's putting out. Eddie just can't step up.
No, like you can't. You get hit with one ability. Sorry, that sound effect should have come through. But now, as we're getting through a little bit more, Doggo being looked at, have to be very careful. Ace in the hole is going to be used. Scatter of the Weak pushes them back. They're still trying to keep this vision and control over the topside river. Now we're seeing resets coming in. It is interesting as we're probably seeing maybe just a look to buy some items to catch up. That Black Cleaver is now secured for his toe, which we thought was going to be second, but now it is just CFO pulling the trigger on the Baron.
And Team Secret Wales are just giving this. They have no way to approach. They can't go through the lines that Rest, that Kino can put up. That front line is too strong. They just have to give this. I think the only way back into this from Team Secret Wales is a fairly major mistake from CFO.
Yeah, it's so true, and I think they can just start to walk away with it. 6.9k gold lead. Baron play already secured with 900 gold confirmed. And they've still got 2.5 minutes on the clock for it, and an open base on this top side leaves D-Ray just trying to farm it out and clear it out too. So once we start getting into these later games once again, Carricks, it's what team can just scale and play better. And right now, CFO are looking like that team.
Ooh, there is a knockup onto Rest. They're going to make it play.
Looking for something, trying to get the scatter, but the damage is good. Public execution not going to be enough. Here's Toe catching one out, and that is the pick that they were looking for.
It's a pick, but I don't know if it's enough. It's great to kill Rest, but you used a lot for it. And what do we do next?
Survive. You know, like, just do our best. Just play for funsies. Just get it done, you know? Let's throw in another motivational quote or something. And it's just like, you know what? Live your life. Follow your dreams.
Yeah.
As D-Ray caught on a ward, actually. Oh, but great stopwatch there. It is going to be burnt, but now you're going to hold on. Flash comes out. Let's see if they can get the return. Another flash comes through. Here's Toast looking for something. The resurrection is good. The GA is pop scatter sent through. They're looking for more. A shutdown goes over. And Secret Wales, they found Doggo. The ace in the hole is good, but there's the chomp. It cleans up Doggo. It's a huge play in Secret Wales. They claw back 3k gold.
And that may well be one of the mistakes that Team Secret Wales need. D-Ray has no right to be able to start a play from being caught on a ward. But now Team Secret Wales can finally push out, get some breathing room, get vision around this dragon. We might have a game on our hands.
Well, we always had a game on our hands here, Karen, because that is the big difference. But D-Ray, we can look at this back, and the stopwatch came in so clutch. It bought time. The flash out, and it was just CFO burning even more. There was a great cocoon, and his toe made the proactive play. This is what we have waited for all game long. And yes, great knock up here. He's going to cancel it out. The exhaust goes forward, but he has no mana.
Exactly, he just can't actually dance through the team, and a 9th stack has finally been added to Pun's total as he got that chomp down onto Doggo. He's getting tankier. He has that Jack show. Now he might become a real problem.
Still got a heart steal, so he's always been scaling, but sitting on quite a lot of health there as the gold is starting to be clawed back. One of those weird roller coasters that's just like a slight incline, goes to the decline, and just levels out a little bit more. But Dragon up in 10 seconds. D-Ray does not care. He wants these towers. Still, CFO are not on soul point. Maybe they can just give it.
They are just going to give it. I thought maybe we were going for an angle for a teleport, knowing that Rest didn't have his quite yet, but no. We're just giving it up. It's only 1.3k gold now. I still think CFO's composition is better suited to this style of game, but it's probably 2.5 minutes around the next Baron that we'll find out.
And the big thing here is when you have 3 Hextech drags here as well, you have that little bit of extra ability haste too. It is a lot you can deal with, especially with a Syndra. Pout is 4-1-9 here. 10 stacks on a Magi's. They're building towards what seems to be a Shadow Flame, if I'm reading that correctly, with a Rabadon's already confirmed. Pout is feeling so big right now.
Yeah, they have to blow him up before he can get a cycle of spells off, or whoever he hit is just dead. If you get Scatter the Weak, you're dead. You can just accept it immediately because Pout is going to one-shot whoever he gets near. Pun is the only one he can't, as Eddie loses a third of his health just from getting winged by a True Shot Barrage. Thankfully, we'll be able to heal up a little bit. But CFO are still just putting on the siege.
No, it's so good, but look at the gold difference now as well. It's a 1.5k gold difference for CFO. So that huge lead that they had has been nullified. Gold across the entire map is very even. It's really been a clawback, and Team Secret Wales, they've done a great job holding on. I think they lost so many. There was quite a few fights that they did lose, and CFO were looking really strong, but now they're saying, okay, we're back in this. The gold lead is not massive. It now comes down to how well we can execute these fights, because D-Ray is also incredibly close to that full item stacks, getting 6 items on a rise, just as scary as a full build Syndra, I would say.
Oh, no question. And a really important item that just came in was Serpent's Fang for his toe. A lot of this tankiness or pseudo-tankiness of CFO, of their frontline, has been the shields coming in from Kino. Some people say it's so interesting with Karma. She's an early game support and a late game support, and it just comes down to which ability you mantra. Do you mantra Q or mantra E? We're in mantra E phase of the game, but Serpent's Fang nullifies so much of that. It does mean, oh no.
Paranoia. BA has to flash, has to be very careful being chased out. Barrage is going to go through, doesn't go up into the air, but now Shadow is also low. His toe has to be careful. Exhaust is being used. Flash, collateral damage, sidesteps the Scatter of the Weak, and is a nice play. Secret Wales get out on a dime.
They do get out, but look what they use right as Baron spawns.
Ooh, TP now being played in as well. Pun does also have TP, but will they look for the play? As there is another TP being used. It's a very aggressive one. It looks like it is going to be Pun jumping straight into this, looking to hold the line a little bit further. Tunnel being used. Pun able to walk out as there is a Realm Orb just to bait them a little bit, seeing if it's going to do anything for them. But now Histo back in the pit, able to hold the control, looking at this Baron. Look at Shadow's health. He's below half, so you have to be so careful. But damage to public execution fails. It does not find its mark, and that was one of the ins. And maybe the TP was just to stop CFO from starting this Baron, but they're already back on it.
Pun's going for the recall, doesn't have teleport again, just used it, of course. Needs to get back in this fight.
Hex gates are used for that exact reason, but Baron again cancelled. They're just teetering over it. Now Secret Whales are back on it. Can some team just please commit at this point? As Pun is now back in this, looking to jump in. Remember, they have two smites. They have Smite and Chomp, looking to secure a little bit more. It's already been picked up, and now they need to get out with their life. The Resurrection is good, but look at the backside. D-Ray able to clean up this fight. Doggo trying to hold on. Collateral damage is nice, but Histo survives out. Ace in the hole hits. It's a double kill for D-Ray, controlling the fight. They get the Baron, and they can walk up this mid lane. It is a huge turn here for Secret Whales.
It might be a game-winning turn. They bait them in, they reel them on the hook, and they win the fight. They get the Baron. The respawns will not come in time for a potential dragon as Team Secret Whales are back in control, Pike.
They're teetering the base. They take the mid tower. Tier 3 gone. They take the inhib. They have a lot of damage, but it is Kino and Pound you have to be scared of. One false step. D-Ray, Histo, and Eddie could just go down. Eddie has the range, has the damage, flashing forward. Wants Pound, he finds him. It's all she wrote. The AD carry wants death. The resurrection comes through. Team Secret Whales, they find themselves in a 3-0 heading to the grand finals. They've already made worlds. Now they're going to make history.
Oh my word, Team Secret Whales, you play with our heart. You play with us, but you do get the 3-0. What a performance from the top team of the LCP.
And this is what we expected, Carrick. We've been waiting for this team to find their time in the limelight yet again. And this series just shows how good they are. That whale is damn cute on your screen. And the whole roster is damn cute because that gameplay was phenomenal. Oh, Pun, holy God, you got sass, son. Oh, wow.
Wow, I mean, what a performance. That was just incredible. Hey. All the way from New York City on that side to watch. And I mean, Team Secret Whales gave them something to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, why not? But now, as we see Team Secret Whales on your screen, we can talk about the upsides. The dominance is back, the control, the status, that even in losing scenarios, they're able to claw back and wait for their shot. But also, Carrick's a bit... Oh, I will get to the no, look at Doggo's damage in that game. Secret Whales probably shouldn't have won that.
No, they shouldn't have won that third game. No, they absolutely shouldn't have. Look at all of the stats, all in favor of CFO. It was just grit from Team Secret Whales, frankly. They just hold their nerve, are able to rally, and just that little mistake. There was just one or two little mistakes from CFO, and that was enough. And I'm so glad who we're zooming in on. I said it at the start of the game. He made a case for himself. He had two fantastic games. The third one started out amazing and ended amazing. He deserves player of the match. What a performance from BA. It's KDA, 21.
Oh, it's so gross. Like, actually, huge performance here. The Rakan looked so good. It was in every single fight. But also the Alistair. We saw some phenomenal plays with the shockwaves, with the Orianna. And that Elise gameplay, second to none.
I mean, he played so well. He was actually dealt a really hard hand in Game 3. Where Elise is strong is that early game, and he played that really well. We were going crazy for it. Where she starts to be really difficult is in the mid to the late game. You have to sort of relegate yourself to playing behind your front line. The issue is, there wasn't much of a front line in that game. It was just the Cho'Gath. So BA didn't have a lot to work with and still made hay while the sun shone.
Yeah, it's so true. And even here, Shadow being caught out. The Secret Whales had such a strong early game. The flashover secured the kill for Eddie. BA getting a little bit more in. But this was the play. Like, this was arguably one of the best plays in the LCP, in my opinion. Maybe this year. I would put this as one of the front runners for how clean that was to get out of dodge and make that. Like, you just don't see predicts like that very often. Most of the time, it's always a carrier highlight. Now we're finally going to get a BA highlight because it was so good. But when we come back to it, the mid-late game for Secret Whales just really struggled.
Yeah, exactly. It almost felt like they lost the plot a little of what they were doing. This was obviously a bit of a bizarre composition. And it's incredible how many of these highlights we're going to watch are so CFO favored, even though this was a 3-0 for Team Secret Whales. I think CFO knew how to play this. They played really well. Doggo had a great game on the Ezreal. But it's just the grit of Team Secret Whales in the end. I mean, this is kind of what champions are made of.
That's so true, and I think that is one of these big things, that the difference between good and great teams is knowing that even if you are losing, you just can hold on. Sometimes the best way to win a game is to wait for your enemy to make a mistake and you capitalize. Secret Whales showed that incredibly well today, not just in this game. There were other fights in the previous games where we saw something very similar, where CFO did take it to them, and then they just said, it's fine, like, we know how to play around this, we can do it. So it is a telling that Secret Whales are really made for this.
Yeah, exactly. I'll paraphrase a quote. Sometimes people will ask, why do you keep playing these games out? Why don't you just accept it and move on to the next game? And it's like, well, there's always the chance that your opponent will forget how to play. Now, I don't think CFO forgot how to play. I think it was bad. Like, look at that. If Doggo presses E or has E available, because I'm sure he was pressing it as soon as it was available, 0.1 of a second earlier, he doesn't get caught there, and that team fight goes differently. If that Zonya's from D-Ray in an earlier fight is 0.1 of a second later, he dies. This is just a game of inches.
Yeah, and you can see there is the Secret Whales coaching staff absolutely ecstatic by the outcome. The 3-0 here for Secret Whales. A lot of us thought CFO had more of the goods in them. They had a good fight. They played well. But on the day, Secret Whales just showed up and decided they wanted to win, because that's all we can put it down to. They destroyed them.
They did. They really ran them over. I think they took it really personally when people started saying CFO was better than them after that 3-2. They proved that when it counts, they are the best team in this league. They locked themselves into the finals, and now CFO, you need to right the ship, because another loss means you're out of postseason contention.
Look, it's not just that. It's not even postseason contention. It's if you don't win the next series, if you do not win on Saturday next week, you don't go to Worlds. Like, that is an even bigger testament. Like, everyone talks about if CFO won tonight, they are locked in, but it's still odd for next week. Saturday's match, ladies and folks, CFO versus Vikings is going to be history in the making, and it is not worth missing here, Carricks, because it is going to be such a big series. Will CFO return to that fire that's been in their blood, or are the Vikings going to be that slow, methodical hammer that will absolutely wear them down? I am so excited to see it.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for these games. This is where dreams are made. This is what we're made for. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see who will be in our finals. I cannot wait to see who will be representing us at Worlds. And MVK, you've got to be looking at this series and being like, you just gave us the blueprint.
Yeah, that's it. Like, if they can play this sort of stuff into Team Secret Whales, they're definitely going to be taking it back into the Vikings too. So there's going to be a lot of nostalgia or something in there that they need to be taking away and studying this gameplay meticulously, because at the same point, it's hard to study games 1 and 2 here, Carricks, because CFO just got belted. So, like, if Vikings feel confident they can do that, amazing, study that gameplay. But maybe it's that game 3 that they look at and go, okay, if we could just weather the storm, we can make it work. But Carrix, that is going to be the end of the night. Any final words before we throw it to the close?
I never doubted them, even for 1 second. Don't look at my predictions.
He did put CFO 3-2, guys. Just thought I'd remind everyone of that one. You know what? I've been thrown under the bus enough. I did say Secret Wales 3-1, however, but nobody's perfect, Carrix. That's the best part. But from all of us here at the LCP, thank you so much for joining us. Big shout out to our producers, all of our hosts, and Carrix as well. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, mate. It's been an exceptional week. We'll see you all on Saturday for a huge series. We'll see you on the next adventure. Good night.